right, let's do it. Good to be with you on a Monday edition of the Cash In. Monday edition of the Cash In. I don't know why you're not hearing me.
I hear you.
All right, Monday edition of the Cash In. I am Jason Page. Good to have you with us. The first edition of the Cash In. Can you hear me, John? I bet you can. How about now? Is that a yes? Okay, good. All right. We'll try and figure that out. I am Jason Page. Good to have you with us, as Chad Erickson so politely said for us. We got a lot to do over the next 3 hours. Our first ever show as the Cash In. What we'll do over the next 3 hours is kind of take you through everything that's going on right now. We'll also get into the big stories of the day, the big stories obviously from the weekend, and then we'll kind of take you through what's coming up ahead. We'll talk about it all from a betting standpoint and a fantasy standpoint, but also about the big stories. We're not going to be, number geek intensive like some gambling shows could be, and all the power to those that do those shows. So we'll provide some humor, we'll provide some fun, and we'll keep you up to date on everything that is going on throughout the world of sports as we go through the 3 hours of this program. College football week 1, we got the biggest takeaways from that. And with no preseason in college football, no dress rehearsal, it's just opening night, boom. Even on Broadway, there's a test run. There's a dress rehearsal of some kind. It doesn't exist in college football. It's just bang, here it is. And while the NFL has too much preseason, college football has no preseason. We'll get into everything from week 1. We'll keep you up to date on what's going on with Clemson and Georgia Tech. As I look at it, I think Clemson has just scored another touchdown, so we'll keep you up to date on what's going on with that. We'll get into some of the other things going on as well. But stick around. Lots more to do. Jason Page with you. Sports Map Radio Network. Stay with us on the Cash In. So I still have to go higher? What the hell? That's bizarre. I'm pinning it.
You all right? Oh, we got a game.
Okay, that's interesting. Well, we got a couple minutes to figure that out. Let me see what I could do. Channels. Channel 1. Level. Okay, here I am. I'm jacking up the levels. So this should be considerably louder. Testing 1 2, check 1 2, testing. Check 1 2, testing 1 2, 5 4 3 2 1. Testing 1 2. How about now? Okay. Do we have music going to break at 09? Yeah, I couldn't hear it very well. Gotcha. Okay. Voice, strength. Tone. Advanced. All right, our first edition of the Cash In on the Sports Map Radio Network. I am Jason Page. We apologize if there's any technical issues because it is our first show, and we're all working remotely and nobody's in the same place. As I said, I'm Jason Page. I am flanked by executive producer Vladimir Louisant, who's in Miami. John Belmer, our producer in Houston, is pushing all the buttons. And I believe we have a score update. I believe Clemson has scored. Vlad, did Clemson score again?
No, Georgia Tech scored.
Okay, Georgia Tech scored. Georgia Tech scored? So what's it, 14-10?
14-10.
Wow, 14-10. Man, Clemson struggling against a team that's projected to win 3 to 4 games this year. Wow, that's bad. But look, I want to get into this. I'm not overreaction guy. I've never been overreaction guy when it comes to the first week of. I mean, look, you got to react a little bit when you're talking about a team projected to win 3.5 games in Vegas, and you're 14-10 in a dogfight with them, so to speak. All apologies to Michael Vick. I think it certainly raises some eyebrows, but talk about it a little bit. I don't go too crazy in week one. The Notre Dame game against Ohio State. You look at what happened in that game. Notre Dame was up at the half. You had a really competitive game basically right until the start of the fourth quarter, and then Ohio State sort of imposes their will. You could see them wear down that Notre Dame defense as the second half went along, and they're able to get a 11-point win. But they were 17.5-point favorites in that game, and I would have taken Notre Dame all day if sports betting was legal in California. Oh my God, 17.5 in the first week of the season? Absolutely. I say this all the time, Vlad. I say this all the time, Vlad. Teams don't know they suck early in the year. And so even if you're down on Notre Dame, that was going to be a close game. You've got your jitters, guys making mistakes, penalties. It just in week one, a number 2 versus a number 5 or whatever it is, number 3 versus number 5, you cannot tell me that you're surprised that Notre Dame was able to cover that spread. You can't.
I am.
All right, then you are. Fine.
Because, the reason why Ohio State has a high-powered offense, and this is Notre Dame, this is their coach's first game. Nobody really knows what to really make of this Notre Dame team. You know what to make of this Ohio State team. This is a same team that came back with a lot of their weapons, and they lost a lot of weapons in the draft. So they came back with more. They did with a Heisman Trophy winner, Heisman Trophy candidate, and a number 1 or number 2 pick in next year's draft. So I can understand, and they're playing in Ohio State. They're playing in Columbus, so I can see where you might think the number 2 team in the country is a 17-point favorite over Notre Dame. Well, no, I'm not saying I'm surprised they were a big favorite. I'm saying I'm not surprised Notre Dame covered. Because I talk about this all the time, and I'm not going to get into like my gambling philosophies in show 1, segment 1, or segment 2, but I think there's 1 or 2 games every week where the odds makers get it. With all respect to and apologies to my friend Jay Rude, I think there's 1 or 2 games every week where the odds makers just get it wrong, and I thought the Notre Dame game was one of those games. Now I'm shocked that with 9 minutes to go in the third quarter, Georgia Tech is hanging with Clemson at 14-10. But, ultimately, I think early in the season with no preseason, it's very difficult to try and get a gauge. You can simulate all you want in practice. You can try to put together whatever you can as a head coach. But you're talking young guys, you're talking teenagers in some instances, playing on a huge stage. You cannot simulate that. If you're Dabo Swinney, you can't possibly simulate that. Now, I'll tell you who I give credit to in week 1 of college football. Even though they lost, I give a lot of credit to Utah for scheduling a tough road game in week 1 in the Swamp. Now, they lost. And now they're going to have to win out to try and,
preserve any chances of being a factor in the college football playoff and being in a position for the college football playoff. But you know what? They wanted to find out right away, hey, do we have the goods? And they did. I mean, it was a close game. But now they're going to have to win out. And it's not to say they can't, by the way. But they're going to have to win out. And then you have Oregon, who did what Oregon does every single year. There's three certainties in life. Death, taxes, and Oregon will throw up one of these types of games, like they did against Georgia, every single year. Without fail. Because that's who Oregon is. It doesn't matter who the head coach is, doesn't matter who your quarterback, doesn't matter. Every year, Oregon's going to throw up one of these games. And they did.
Okay.
They do.
They'll still win the Pac-12. And probably be in the 4 or 5 in the college football playoff.
Don't know about that. Not so sure about that.
Okay, if everything's a given, then this Saturday I expect Stanford to beat USC then. That's always a given.
Yeah, but Stanford's one of those teams every year that loses one of those games too.
Right, but not to USC. USC always, that's the one game that they always.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong at all. And again, I'm not saying Oregon isn't a good program or anything like that, or that Utah isn't a good program. But in the case of Oregon, every year you can count on this. Every year. Oh, I'm supposed to give out the phone number, by the way, if you want to call in. 800-224-2004. 800-224-2004. I'm Jason Page. If you're tuning in for the first time and saying, who's this guy? I am Jason Page. Back after a 6-year. I took a 6.5-year vacation. Vlad and I decided to take Vlad not so much, me a little bit more, but I took a 6.5-year vacation basically. I used to do a national. I should introduce myself a little bit. I don't want to do one of these things where here's who I am and here's why you should listen. If you Google me, you'll figure it all out. Used to do a show for NBC Sports Radio back in the day, a weeknight. Overnight show, did that for a few years, worked with them, worked with ESPN Radio New York, San Francisco. I've been everywhere, like Johnny Cash. But took about 6 years off, did some other things, podcasted, traveled the world, did some news talk. And I decided to come back to what I love doing, and that's sports talk. So that's the long and short of it. We'll get to know each other, though, as we go through this process. A couple other things. If you want to follow me on social media, one of the things I like to do, and we'll take calls throughout the show. I take them sparingly because I like social media better. It's easier to control the conversation with a listener. If they just make their point on social media, I can read it and we can kind of move on with our lives rather than a long back and forth on the phone. That being said, if you're good and you can get by John Belmer, who's producing the show in Houston, he's kind of the gatekeeper. If you can get by him, if he deems you good enough, then you might actually get on the air. Is that fair, John? I think you could do that. John's the gatekeeper. See? I made John the gatekeeper tonight. 800-224-2004. I am on Twitter at The Back Page. Now, that is the social media I check the most because it's where I have the most followers. So if you want to send me a note on Twitter, follow me there at The Back Page. We're going to be doing a lot of cool things with this show. I'm not going to get into all of them right this second, but we're going to be doing a lot of cool things with this show as we go through the next several weeks and as we kind of get ourselves situated and get our feet under us. We're going to do a lot of fun things. So I promise you're going to want to listen. Coming up in a couple of minutes, I want to talk about, there's an old adage in the legal profession. You see it from time to time. Some crazy guy gets indicted and put on trial for something, and he'll decide to represent himself. And there's an old saying in the law world. You know what that saying is? The only person who represents himself or a person who is his own attorney has a fool for a client. There is an NFL version of that I want to get into, and we will do that as we continue with the Cash In. I'm Jason Page. This is the Sports Map Radio Network. No, I didn't.
can't wait to disagree with you on this one.
Let me look here. Performance. Check 1 2, testing 1 2, 5 4 3 2 1. No, I'm still playing with it.
Well, whatever you did towards late was good because I was hearing myself back, and then you did something.
What'd you say, Vlad?
I wasn't hearing. Whatever you did when I was talking early, I was hearing what I was saying back. I was hearing when return back to me, but then you did something, and when I spoke, I didn't hear my talk back.
Okay,
I didn't hear no return. So that was whatever you did. It was good.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure this out. Advance voice. Because I got this thing cranked right now. Okay, I really have this thing cranked. System settings. No, it's not on any of that. What the hell could it be? Like, I am all the way up right now on everything. This is how the sausage is made.
Jesus.
I just wonder if this is. I wonder if it's the mic. If it's just this is the best the mic can do. Then it's the board. All right, good to have you with us. Works better when the mic doesn't shut off on me. Good to have you with us. I'm playing with equipment here, trying to get it all set up and make it all work. And lots of fun. So we still got 14-10, Vlad? Because I see the problem is,
we got 14-10.
As people, if you're watching the show on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube, as you can see, the game is on in the background, but it's on far enough away that I really can't get in trouble for it. So I can't see the score without turning around, and that doesn't necessarily make for good radio. Coming up in about 20 minutes, I want to get into this Lamar Jackson situation a little bit. Actually, I wanted to get into that a little bit now. But I'll you know what? I'll come back to Lamar. We'll get to that in about 20 minutes. So I just didn't pay off the tees. See, that's what happens when you're off for 6 years. If I am the New York Jets, so the Jet fans are probably giddy today.
Hello?
Yeah.
New York Jets.
Yeah, well, I know you're a Jets guy. But if you're a Jets fan, you're probably giddy today about the news that Zach Wilson is feeling a little bit better. And he's recovering from this knee injury that was originally thought to be very serious. And a lot of people were, oh, my God, how long are we going to lose him for? You lost him for a bunch of games last year, which meant Joe Flacco got to start games and guys that are bagging groceries at the D'Agostino were starting football games. But now this was the year. Zach Wilson was going to take that leap. His head coach was singing his praises, how good they felt about him. He was going to make that next step when he wasn't busy sleeping with his mom's best friends. And wait, listen, hey, good for him. If you can do it, do it. But there was this conversation of it was definitely going to be Joe Flacco in week 1. No doubt, Joe Flacco, week 1. And then the story came out that Zach Wilson was starting to feel better, and there was real optimism he might be able to start for week 1. I'm going, and I know this is going to run counterintuitive to probably what everybody else is saying in the media. Oh my God, Zach Wilson can start week 1. You got to get him on the field. No, you don't. If he is not 110%, if he is anything less than 100%, if he's 99%, if there's any chance, well, they can protect him. We won't run him around in the pocket too much. Quick release. I do not start Zach Wilson in week 1 against that Ravens defense. I don't do it. I do not do it. That is the best defense in the NFL on paper before the season starts. No. That is the best defense by most accounts. That is the best defense in the NFL as we go into week 1. And I do not put Zach Wilson in a position in week 1 to get embarrassed by that defense, or even worse than that, injured to a degree where you've got Joe Flacco for 5 or 6 weeks instead of Joe Flacco for 1 week. And by the way, I say this, and Vlad knows me. I'm a Joe Flacco guy. Always have been. Love Joe Flacco. Me and Joe Flacco, we're bros. All right, maybe that's a little bit of exaggeration, but
yeah, I think you're exaggerating. But look,
I've interviewed him a couple times.
Zach Wilson is healthy and it's practice, and he's able to go.
What's healthy though? What's healthy? 100%, and you got to be 100%.
He's been able to practice for 1 full week.
Yeah, see, there's a difference between being able to practice for 1 full week. This is the Baltimore Ravens defense,
right? A defense last year that was decimated with injuries, and we don't know. And they have a new defensive coordinator. This ain't Wink Martin.
I get it.
He's in New York, so we don't really know.
Mike McDonald running the show.
They're a very good team, but I don't know if we can go saying, "Oh my God, they're the best defense." No, I need to see. They need to show improve as well. Ravens have a lot of guys coming back from injuries, and a lot of guys that are on the IR. So, as a Jet fan, I'm not going to go crazy and say yes, we need to start Zach Wilson. If he's not healthy, play Joe Flacco. He's a vet. He knows that team. He knows that team better than anybody. That's a good problem to have. But if Zach Wilson's healthy, I don't know if you saw the Jet-Giant game. That's Snoopy Bowl. But Joe Flacco, when he was trying to move, he threw a ball. He pretty much handed the ball to the Giant defender. And the defender took it to the end zone for a pick 6. So, Zach Wilson's healthy. Play that man. Play him.
I would need to know that he is 100. I'm telling you, I don't think he'll start. I don't think they start him. I think they're trying to keep the rate. I think this is a little bit of gamesmanship. I think this is them saying, Baltimore, we want you to be ready for Joe Flacco, and we want you to be ready for Zach Wilson. I don't think this is anything more. I don't think this is anything more than gamesmanship.
And I don't blame them. Play that game. Let them be confused. Let them have to figure it out, like who to play.
Yeah,
but I don't think that the offense that the Jets run. Yes, I think with Zach Wilson, the mobility, it's probably a little bit more dangerous than Joe Flacco. It's a 17-game season. You don't necessarily have to put that man in. I get it in position for him to start when he's not healthy.
Nope.
If he's healthy and he's had the practices, play him.
Seasons, but you just said it too, though. The season is too long with the extra game now. And look, let's be honest. While I think the Jets' hopes for this year in terms of a win-loss total are better than the Giants, which is something we rarely say on this show or any other show. While I think the Jets' chances, I think they can win 7, maybe 8, and the Giants are probably a 5 or 6 win team at best. This is the year where you have to start to see progress from Zach Wilson, given the fact that last year was basically a lost season for him. You have to be in a position where you can get a true and full evaluation of his talent on the football field. And you can't do that if he comes out hurt in week 1 and now he's got a lingering injury and it's 4 or 5 weeks and you don't really have a sense for, how healthy he is. You can't do that to this kid. I say this all the time in sports. And there's going to be a theme that runs through the show a little bit tonight, and I'll get to it in the third hour. There's another quarterback situation I want to talk about. There's a few of them as we get to start the season, but another one in particular that comes to mind that I'll get to in the third hour of the show. I don't want to burn out all the NFL content in the opening hour, but I'm of the mindset that the job of a general manager is to put his head coach in the best position to succeed, and that means getting the right talent. I'm in the mindset that a group of players have to be put in the best position to succeed by the head coach. And I don't think that's starting Zach Wilson week 1 when you've had Flacco taking all these snaps, when a veteran quarterback, and I think he's very capable of going in there and making that game competitive against Baltimore. That's got its own issues, as far as Lamar Jackson is concerned. I'll get to that coming up in a few minutes here. But I am fully prepared. If I'm the Jets organization, play all the games you want and make John Harbaugh have to prepare for the possibility of Zach Wilson, but you don't start him week 1. Unless he is 100% and there is zero risk of re-injuring that knee. I do not put him on. No. I'm talking about.
There's always going to be a risk of re-injuring that knee.
Right.
Page. I mean, this is his second leg injury in
yes,
in his first 2 years in the NFL. But the doctor said it's 2 to 4 weeks. This is almost week 4. So therefore, if he's ready and he's practicing, he's mobile.
I don't know if he's had it, but again, because of when the injury occurred, right in the heart of training camp. Right in the heart of the preseason, early on. I don't do it. But I'm saying I would not want to put him out there week 1 after having to sit out all this time.
If he's
I don't do it. I'm just saying I don't do it.
He can play.
I don't do it, and I don't think the Jets will do it. I think they're smarter than that. If this is your franchise guy, like Robert Saleh wants to tell everybody he is. If you believe that strongly and have that conviction that this is your guy, you do not put him in a position to fail. And I think putting him on the field in week 1 against that defense, say what you want about Wink Martindale not being there anymore, that defense is going to be really good this year. And in week 1, they're going to have their ears pinned back going after Zach Wilson. I do not put him in that position. I don't think they will, but I hope for his sake they don't. Because, the Jets have gone, we've seen this so many times for the Jets over the years. We've seen so many issues that we've seen so much turnover for them, obviously at the quarterback position. I don't want to see this kid. I want to see this kid. I get it. I want to see this kid get a legitimate shot to succeed, though. I really do. Because a lot of people were down on that Jets pick. A lot of people felt like,
these people don't know.
Yeah, but look, they may or may not be validated, and we'll find that out in another year or so. But I just want to see him get the best chance to succeed. Playing in New York, and you and I are from there, and I've done radio there, and I'm from the Northeast originally. I live on the West Coast now because I'm soft and weak and got a belly, and I want to play golf. But we're new. Yeah.
We have a touchdown in the Clemson Georgia Tech game.
Oh, we got an update.
Clemson has scored.
All right. So Clemson has scored.
23-10.
Yeah, 23-10 extra point pending. There you go. Good job on that, Vlad. Keeping us up to date. All right. I want to get into Lamar Jackson since we're talking about quarterbacks and talking about that Jets-Ravens matchup. We'll get to that as we continue. I'm Jason Page. Welcome to the Cash In. Good to have you with us. Sports Map Radio Network.
You hear me?
No, I hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah. That's a topic. Quarterbacks with a lot of pressure, man. Quarterbacks and coaches. Motherfuckers on the hot seat.
Yeah, hold on one second, Vlad. Yeah, John, I hear you. Yeah, because I don't know what else to change here. Because I've got my road. I got my road. Roadcaster Pro, and it is like cranked up. Let me see something real quick. Let me check something. Okay. Tell me something. Is this any louder? Ah, there it is. I found it. Sorry, dude. All right, so I'm going to bring my levels down. I'm going to turn up the output. How is this now? Thank God. Because I was sitting there trying to figure it out, and then I looked at the back of the board, and I realized what is feeding the BrickLink wasn't what I thought was feeding the BrickLink. Sorry about that, man. Yeah, and there's some things you really can't do unless you're actually on the air, unfortunately. Yeah. For those of you watching on the stream, on the video stream, you're getting to see Radio Made Live. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, you're on like a 7-second delay.
What'd you say, Vlad?
You're like on 7-second delay on my Facebook.
Yeah, it's all right. That's what it should be.
And I have it closed caption, so I kind of.
Oh, you got closed captioning? That's fine.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's good. I'm glad we got that fixed. It only took us a half hour. That's better. Hey, look, it could have been a lot worse. Yeah, because this is the main output. Now I get it. God damn it.
Hey, if you're Serena, do you gracefully bow out now?
Oh, we'll get into that later. I got that in the rundown.
I think she really wants to make Vlad eat his words. Man.
Make who?
Make me eat my words.
I don't think so. But we'll talk about it later.
She's gonna do it, but I really think she is trying to. Yankees gonna get knocked out in the first round. Jesus Christ.
All right, good to have you with us. I am Jason Page. We continue on the cash in. As I said, we're playing with a whole bunch of technical things since it's the first show, and as much as we test things before the show starts, you can't really test something until you're actually on the air. So hopefully you hear us loud and clear and everything sounds good. Update on the Clemson football game. They are leading Georgia Tech, 24-10? 24-13? Vlad, what's the score on that?
24-10.
All right, 24-10. Executive producer Vlad riding shotgun with me. Producer John in Houston. I am Jason Page. Our show emanates from Palm Springs, California. Why Palm Springs, California? Because that's where I live. Simple as that. It's the golf capital of the world. I'm in my mid-40s. Like to play a lot of golf. So I decided I was going to live out here with my partner and enjoy life. Well, wait, what's the matter? What's the matter with that, Vlad?
I got a question.
Yeah.
Now, you say there was a problem with that. I have a question. Palm Springs is already hot.
Oh, right? I have no idea.
It's close to the desert.
It's one of the hottest places in the. It's not just one of the places
right now.
Okay. It's not just one of the hottest places in the country. It's actually one of the hottest places consistently in the world in the summer. Like, it's only a few degrees below Death Valley. So I will tell you right now, it is 7:41 p.m. Okay? 7:41 p.m. in Palm Springs, California. It's 108 degrees with 16% humidity, so it feels about 108. And that is consistently the temperature. Today we reached 112 here, and that is consistently the temperature for about 3.5 to 4 months out of the year here. Now, with that said, the other 8 months a year, it is paradise. I mean, it is. It sucks for 4 months. You make your peace with that. But 4 months out of the year, you're just going to die here. That's it. Can't walk your dog. You just stay inside. Go to the mall.
You're a hermit.
Go to the casino.
Just live at home.
Hang out at Starbucks. That's it. That's what you do. Yep. Now you live someplace that's also very uncomfortable during the day during the summer. I mean, Miami is not a panacea.
Yeah, but you put an AC on, you're good. It's 90. I mean, listen, 95 degrees and 90% humidity is horrible. Yeah. But triple figures, man. Like, you don't even get a wind.
Nope.
Like a breeze to you, like somebody's hot breath.
It's an air dryer. It feels like a hair dryer.
It's nothing.
When the breeze blows and it's that hot, it actually feels like somebody is blowing a hair dryer on you. And funny enough, because our producer in Houston, John, that's another place. I went and did a few shows for Sports Map in one of its former iterations, and I actually did like 3 days of shows, and it was like 4th of July weekend in, I want to say 2018. And every day it's just dripping wet with humidity. So you get the humidity in 90 plus there. You get the humidity in 90 plus where you are. But I get the dry. I get the dry 105.
John and I are we're the hot and humidity brothers right now. Like, the word. Put it this way: in the next 3 weeks or so, we have to worry about the weather and sporting events because there might be a hurricane or something, or a tropical storm to that matter. No, seriously, that might affect the game.
I got it.
It might. They might have to reschedule the game or something. That usually happens around this time of the year.
You guys are lucky, though, in Miami this year. You haven't had a bad hurricane season at all so far. This was supposed to be a bad hurricane season, not to go all like, I'm not going. Yeah.
That doesn't stop until November.
Not going to go all Willard Scott here and give you the weather report, but.
Yeah, hurricane season is till November, man. So we still got a couple more months to go. All
right, I want to talk about. There's an old adage in the legal world. I have a good friend who's actually a lawyer. He's actually one of the most prominent attorneys in his industry. He's in like labor law, and he's I'll name drop a little here. He's actually the uncle of Luis Giolito, the White Sox starting pitcher who's had a abysmal season. He's been banged up more, I think, than most people know. I just happen to have a little inside info on that. But Lucas Giolito's uncle happened to be a very prominent attorney, and we were talking about some legal case where there was this guy out there that was representing himself in a case. And the old adage in the law world is the lawyer who has himself for a client, or the guy who hires himself to be his own lawyer has a fool for a client. It's one of the oldest adages in the legal profession. And that's what comes to mind to me when I think of Lamar Jackson. Because Lamar Jackson is, as some people may or may not know, is representing himself in his contract negotiations with the Baltimore Ravens. And again, think what you want about agents. And look, again, in most cases, they're lawyers and they're just trying to milk every dollar they can out of an organization. And sometimes guys wind up leaving their favorite franchises. Look at Freddie Freeman last year and the heartbreak that Braves fans felt when he left, even though they may still have a chance to win a World Series this year. Think what you want of agents, the Scott Borises of the world. And for every 5 crappy agents, there's a Lee Steinberg, who's one of the good guys in the industry. Lamar Jackson needs an agent. You cannot be a player at the level Lamar Jackson is and be representing yourself. You have to put yourself in a position where you can dump that on somebody else's lap. I mean, the quarterback position in football is look, I'm not telling anybody anything they don't know. the quarterback position in the National Football League is, look, I'll go so far as to say it's the most demanding position in all of professional sports. I don't think anybody would. Is there anything more demanding, Vlad? Maybe goalie in the NHL? I don't think that's a stretch.
Quarterback is number one.
Right. Quarterback is it's the most vital position in sports. You cannot win. And I know you can throw Brad Johnson and Trent Dilfer at me, but I could throw you 40 plus other cases where teams had great quarterbacks and won Super Bowls. You can throw me 2 or 3 that are sort of, questionable about guys that were able to win Super Bowls as average or sub-average quarterbacks.
And if they do that, Jason, you can always say they were playing with unbelievable defenses. That's the one thing. That's the one counter to, if you don't have a franchise starting quarterback, you're not going to be able to win a Super Bowl. The only way if you don't have a franchise starting quarterback, you have to have an all-time defense or running back.
Right. And when you talk about, the Ravens with Trent Dilfer, it was an all-world defense. And they were going against Jim Fossil, God rest his soul.
Brad Johnson, that Buccaneers defense was an all-time defense.
Absolutely.
Remember, Denver Broncos that won that title for Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
They pushed Peyton Manning's ass into that driveway to get into that title. So
yes, they did. That's absolutely true.
All-time defense.
So again, the vast exception, or the rule is, we know how important that position is. And Lamar Jackson is supposed to be, and by the way, I don't necessarily buy this, and I know that's a whole other conversation that we can get into, and I don't know if Vlad agrees or disagrees. It's not a conversation I want to get into today because it'll derail where I want to go with this. But if you believe Lamar Jackson is the man, that he is a Super Bowl caliber winning quarterback, which I do not believe, by the way. Don't say anything, Vlad, if you disagree, because we'll just go right off the rails. But if you believe that, then somebody's got to get into his ear. I mean, all these guys got entourages. All of them have smart people around them. Is Lamar Jackson the exception to that? He doesn't have anybody around him who could get in his ear and say, Lamar, you don't want to handle this. You don't want to deal with this. Go get an agent. Pay him the 20% or whatever these guys make. John Harbaugh, after Monday Ravens practice, was asked whether there's ever been a discussion that Jackson would hold out and not play this season without a new deal. No, Harbaugh said, before adding, quote, Lamar has said he's focused on the season. He's under contract and he's going to have the best season he can have. He's hopeful to get a new contract and we're hopeful to get him a new contract. All of the rest of it is business. There's nothing other than coming to something that is mutually agreeable. Now, I don't know what Lamar Jackson thinks he deserves, what he thinks he should get. I know he missed the voluntary workouts this spring for the first time in his career, which, by the way, he cannot afford to do. I don't care how talented you think this guy is. His postseason numbers stand for themselves. His throwing average stands for itself. His completion percentage stands for itself. I know he's incredibly athletic and gifted, and these quarterbacks that everybody likes to see today, I get it. But you can't tell me that dealing with all of this contract stuff himself. Now, maybe he just goes the Aaron Judge route and just says, I'm not going to talk about it for the rest of this season. Kind of bet on myself sort of thing. Now I'm just gonna play it out after the season ends. And if he can do that, then all the power to him. And he wants to deal with it again in the offseason. Again, I don't think it's the smartest thing in the world to represent yourself in this case. But if you want to do that and you want to just shut it down for the season, then fine. Go ahead and do that. But if you're not doing that, there's no way that you can say during the course of a season, this isn't going to impact the play of Lamar Jackson. You just can't. And John Harbaugh said he's kept it all football. He's focused on that. John Harbaugh saying all the right things. And I get it. You're Lamar Jackson. You're watching Deshaun Watson get this absurd contract from the Browns. which is another topic that, it's a good thing I wasn't on the air a few weeks ago. Whew. This is the problem when you've been off for 6 years. I could do about 30. I could do a Jason Page-a-thon right now and do about 30 hours on all the things I haven't had a chance to talk about over the last 6 years on the radio. And that includes Deshaun Watson, this Kyler Murray story, the contract he got, the clause that was in it and that it wasn't in it.
Right. That's right. They getting paid. Let them get that NBA money. They're the most important position. Let them get that money.
Well, look, I'm all about letting you get your money if you deserve it. I'm all about letting you get your money. You've got to win something.
But okay, here's the thing, though, Paige. You know these quarterbacks are getting paid for what they are doing now and what they're expected to do in the future.
Of course.
Remember, the man is getting paid after his first contract. So what he's done so far in his first 4 years in the NFL, now he's entering season 5, he's gotten to the Ravens to the playoff 3 of the first 4 years.
Yeah.
And he's won an NFL MVP.
But did you gloss over what he did in the playoffs?
He's won 1 game and he's lost 2.
I mean, that's a problem. And again, his numbers in those games have not been good. You know, once is an anomaly, once is an aberration, twice, 3 times.
One is not. No, wait a minute. First of all, I'm not gonna be upset at a kid in his rookie year, especially when it was probably like his 7th game that he's played that whole season. Remember, he didn't come in for Flacco until
I remember
a little bit more than midway through that rookie year. Okay, that second year they lost to the Titans. That third season they spun around and got their payback. So he's 1-2. There's guys that's gotten paid that hasn't done nearly what he's done. Kirk Cousins, hello.
Yeah, and I disagreed. And I disagreed with Cousins getting all that money.
But guess what? The market dictates that's what he's supposed to get. That's the type of money he's supposed to get. That's what Kirk Cousins got, another 2-year, $90 million. That's what the market dictates.
All right.
And in his market for Lamar deserves to get that type of money that the Kyler Murrays and Russell Wilsons are getting.
Early fourth quarter, 24-10, Clemson on top of Georgia Tech. We'll update you on that as we get set for the next hour of the program. Vlad and I will agree to disagree, and we'll continue to talk about it. I'm Jason Page. It's the Cash In on the Sports Map Radio Network. So the audio sounds better? Good. Okay, good. Okay, thank you. Next segment's a tease segment. And we got another tease segment at 06.
Oh my God, this woman got the beginnings of a stroke during that broadcast? Jesus.
What happened?
A news anchor had the beginnings of a stroke during the broadcast.
Oh, is there video?
Julie Chen.
Julie Chen?
Julie Chen, that's what it says.
Really?
Julie Chen of KJRH, but isn't Julie Chen? An Oklahoma news anchor has revealed she suffered.
Oh, no, okay, I don't know her.
Julie Chen of Tulsa's KRG.
I want to see what happens when somebody's having a stroke in real time. Can't be fun.
They do have video of it.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure somebody's got video of it.
Tulsa Air and Space Museum is hosting a launch
That's crazy.
Today at the.
I can't even imagine.
At the.
Oh
event.
no.
The event features live.
Wow, she's having it.
I'm sorry. Something is going on with me this morning, and I apologize to everybody. Let's just go ahead and send it on over to me.
Wow, she was having it right during.
At least she was smart enough to know.
Yeah, she just threw it to the. Yeah, she's like, "So I'm sorry, something's going on."
Was her face drooping or anything like that? Like,
nah. But you could tell, like, every time she was trying to talk, it felt like something was like stopping.
God, let me tell you.
I'll send you the video, but that's
stroke terrified because it can just come out of the blue, you know, like a stroke. Oh, I would be mortified if I had a stroke. By the way, Vlad, keep in mind we are on the stream still on the video side, so
so they can hear me.
Yeah, Yep.
Okay.
So just be careful.
Oh yeah. Well, that's good to know. I'm not gonna say nothing crazy.
Pharrell's nuts if he thinks that Cashman's going to be finished. I love Pharrell, but he's nuts if he thinks Cashman's going to be finished in baseball.
In baseball, like overall, like never get a job.
He thinks this is it.
No. But Boone might get fired after this season, bro.
Well, I've thought that too.
No, he's getting. No, this is it, bro. Here's the thing,
which is insane because nobody's won more games in their first 3 or 4 seasons as a manager than him ever. History of baseball.
About it is that I know, but the year he wins 100 games, that's the year the Red Sox went away. This unfortunate thing, but after a while,
hang tight. We're coming back.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Nearing the top of the hour, I'm Jason Page. Welcome to the inaugural edition, the premiere edition of the Cash In on the Sports Map Radio Network. Here with you 3 hours every night, 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. Yes, even on Labor Day. When everybody else was taking the day off, we decided we were going to start a show. Whose bright idea was that, Vlad? Apparently mine.
Yours. Definitely yours.
24-10 Clemson on top of Georgia. We'll continue. Georgia Tech, I should say. 24-10. They are not covering. What was it? 17.5? The spread on that game? Was it even more?
Was it?
Maybe it was more. Can you look that up? Right, yeah, see if you can check. I know it was a lot. I know they're not covering right now at 24-10. But you know what? Coaches aren't worried about that stuff. You just want to figure out a way to get out of this game with a win if you're Clemson, and they will.
Oh no, it was more than that.
How much was it?
I got Clemson 24 and over under 51. I would have taken the under easily.
Wow. 24, they're not even going to come close. You never know.
Don't say that.
Yeah, that's true. I know. There's somebody out there right now with a ticket in his hand saying, Joe Page, don't say that.
Oh, yeah, you just jinxed him, man.
Another hour of the Cash In right around the corner. I'm Jason Page. Thanks for being with us on Sports Map Radio. Thank you for the time cues there. I'm actually going to get an atomic clock in front of me because I like being able to actually see.
That's why I know the game is. Your feedback is.
What'd you say, Vlad?
Right now,
what?
I can see the game through your TV.
Yeah.
Through that, and you're like way behind.
Well, yeah, I'm also way behind because I have YouTube TV, which means I can never follow Twitter at the same time as I'm watching like a Yankee game because it'll be like, oh, Aaron Judge just hit his 54th home run, and I'm like, wait, he's still batting.
Oh, you know what?
Bleeding Christ.
Since you're on the stream, I got to put you on something.
It's terrible.
That's a horrible play call. What are you doing? God, that's why you're Georgia Tech.
Yeah, see, you're way ahead of me. Still looking at a replay.
They are showing a replay.
Oh, okay.
They're showing the replay of the kid on that down. He gets tripped.
Oh, well, you're watching my video. Then I'm way behind because I'm extra like 20 or 30 seconds behind. So that makes sense.
Right now Clemson's got the ball and they're driving. Oh, they might cover now.
What'd you say?
Score is 31-20. So they might cover. It's 31. They score is 31. It could be 31-10. They're 10 points.
And the thing is, you need style points in college football.
Well, that's why. Oh my God!
So they might run it up if they can.
I went to the Miami game, and that's why everybody was going crazy. They wanted them to run the points. I'm like, this ain't the old days, man. This ain't the freaking AP and freaking coaches poll.
The rundown. Let's see. That. There. What's going on at Wimbledon so I could see if Patrick is...
Wimbledon? What is wrong with you?
What?
U.S. Open, bro. There ain't no fucking Wimbledon. You just said Wimbledon, man.
Did I say Wimbledon? What's going on at the U.S. Open is what I meant to say. Sorry.
You said Wimbledon. The whole stream heard that.
Sorry.
This guy thinks...
They also heard you drop an F-bomb. Go easy.
Well, yeah, I just heard you just make a big mistake. Wimbledon. We're not... This ain't England.
So see, the Alcaraz Cilic match is in the first set.
Oh, that's
so the
great.
But that means chances are he ain't gonna be done by 1 a.m.
So they'll be done in 3 sets.
Alcaraz is really good, and Cilic has a big serve. Center.
I think our boy NK is gonna win it this year. I mean, this tournament.
Kyrgios?
Yeah.
Yeah, I plan to get into that. That's a second hour topic. If you look at the rundown. Yeah, no, it's like in another like 35 minutes or so.
Yeah, right now they wish they had Joker right now.
Wow. I did not expect Nadal to lose today. He made me look really bad because I went out last night and I was like, hey, stop talking about Kyrgios is now the favorite to win the tournament. It's still Nadal. Nobody's beating him in a Grand Slam this year. And then he gets he falls apart in the fourth set. Huh?
Don't you know you're bad luck?
I am not bad luck. Don't say that.
Fam, you said Friday when we were getting ready for the show. You know what you said.
I know.
Yeah,
We'll talk. We can talk about that on the air. Well, just hold off. Just hold off. You can have some fun with that on the air.
Bad luck, man. You're the mush. You're the mush.
I am not the mush. You like to portray me as the mush, but I am not the mush.
I don't need to portray. I have facts to back it up. Portraying you as a mush would be saying things that never happened. I have examples.
Tennis scores.
How about the Mets with the choke job?
Oh, it's the Mets. Why would that gravy water's wet?
It's not even a choke job because it's not like they've been playing bad. It's just that the Braves went on a run.
The Braves have put so much heat on them.
Yeah, that's some nasty heat. That's like freaking That's not even the feds. That's like what you call those guys?
Sabalenka beat Danielle Collins. Damn it. 6.
What do you call those cops that look into other cops?
Oh, internal affairs?
Yeah, it's IA, man.
IAB.
Goddamn, Giancarlo hurt.
Giancarlo Stanton's hurt?
Yeah, he had to be taken out the game.
Oh no. Talk about it later. We'll talk about that because my second talk segment this hour is about Aaron Judge.
Oh, please don't be that guy.
Just hold your powder, man.
Hey, man, come on. Just because I'm in Miami doesn't mean you don't have to say hold my powder.
Was that John laughing? Yeah. Okay.
Who was laughing? Was
John was. All right, hold on. We're coming back.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about. Nice job by the folks at SportsMap putting together the opens and rejoins for the show. Night 1 of the Cash In. I am Jason Page. If you are new to the show, because it's our first night, I don't even know what was here before me. Maybe there was nothing. Maybe I am the start of it all, the center of the universe. That's what I like to think. I am Jason Page. I am flanked by executive producer Vladimir Louisant, John Belmer producing the show back in Houston at Master Control. 2410, I believe, It is still Clemson on top of Georgia Tech 24-10, even though they're 24-point underdogs, I think we said. So they still got a ways to go if they want to cover that game. Remind me this hour, Vlad. I have to make sure to tell everybody. We've got some cool prizes I'm giving out this week.
We've got prizes?
Yes, I have dug into the prize closet already. And we have got, if you are a baseball or football card collector, you're going to want to listen this week. You're going to want to listen. So we're going to be giving stuff away. And that's one of the things we're going to be doing with this show that's going to kind of differentiate it from a lot of other shows that are on the radio or in the sports radio spaces. We're going to kind of gamify the show. There's going to be a lot of opportunities for people that are loyal listeners of the show to win stuff. And quite frankly, I can't think of what's better than free. Georgia Tech, Clemson, will keep you up to date on that, especially those of you that may have financial interests in the game.
Oh, wait. I gotta.
What happened? Hurry up, Vlad. Go ahead. What we got?
Clemson with a field goal.
All right. So now we're within 7.
It's 27-10. They are within 7 of covering.
Oh, you don't want the push, though. You don't want the push. No push. You gotta buy the hook, right?
See, here's the nastiness. Right?
Buy the hook. Get it to 23.5.
Right? It's 8 minutes and 45 seconds left in the game. Right?
A lot that could happen.
Clemson has 2 possessions left in the game.
Yeah.
And Georgia Tech has 2 possessions left in the game. And I think Georgia Tech's going to turn the ball over and give Clemson a pick 6 or a fumble return.
Yeah, you could get that. All right, we'll come back. We'll come back. We'll get into what's going on in this game. In this hour, I also want to talk about Aaron Judge, some baseball talk, some U.S. Open talk, too. I'm Jason Page. It's the Cash In on Sports Map Radio. Stay with us. I'm doing Clemson. I'm still doing more college football here. Kind of reset the top story. And then I'll do Judge in the segment after that. And when I do Judge in the segment after that, when we come out of the break, if you want to play that home run from today, that's fine. Yep. Beautiful. Actually, you know what you can do coming back from this break? If you want to play the Clemson touchdown that you have. Go ahead and play it. Is that the ESPN call? Okay, got it. Dave Pash, ESPN. We can play it live? What'd you say, Vlad?
We could play it live, right?
Well, he's going to play it on his end. Yeah, I mean, I've got the ability to play stuff on my end, but I'm cool with him playing it. I've got so many things connected to this Roadcaster. It's crazy. Bluetooth. I can do anything with this 1-foot-sized board that I could do with a radio station board. I could take calls through this thing if I wanted to. It's just nuts.
Calm yourself.
I'm one of the best things I ever bought was this board.
I know, you're just pressing buttons. Oh, Clemson's definitely covering now.
I'm going to say no.
They're going to cover.
What's the live line on it? Can you get a live line on it? Otherwise, I can look on my FanDuel app. I've got so many things in front of me right now. It's just stupid. How many apps I have open in front of me. There it is. I got the live. Oh, there is no live line right this second. Hold on. It's probably because a play is happening. And keep an eye on the live line. Oh, Clemson just got the ball back.
I told you.
It's going to be a push.
This game, man. It's easy.
It's going to be a push.
This is not only is it going to be a push, they're going to if you got the under in the game, watch it go over.
What was the under?
What
was the total?
My God, they blocked another punt.
Yeah, that's the second one.
That's the second one. They're about to score. They're going to cover, bro. It's 51.
Oh, this is getting into bad beat territory.
Oh, this is nastiness right now. You know how many people are in Vegas right now going crazy?
2 blocked punts. Oh.
And you know they're going to turn the ball over for another touchdown.
Awful.
Clemson's going to put a 40 burger on.
All right, stand by, Vlad.
This is about to evolve.
Dave Pash, the call, ESPN. For the Chick-fil-A kickoff. Whoa, Nelly. Clemson has the football back, as Vlad accurately predicted. 27-10, and the sweat is officially on if you've got Georgia Tech in the 24. Hopefully, if you bet either team, you bought the hook, because we're in awfully muddy territory right now with the lead at 17, Clemson with the football, and still 6:51 to go. Here's the thing. I mean, they'll kick a field goal down here if they don't get it. They got a 3rd down and 5. We'll keep you up to date on what's going on. By the way, this was not pretty. What was it, 14-10 at the half? I think it was 14-10 Clemson at the half.
In the third quarter.
Yeah, it was 14-10 Clemson in the third quarter, and the Clemson offense. Yeah, but look, you kind of saw this in the Notre Dame game with Ohio State, and you kind of see it, and you see it all the time in football. A team can hang around for a couple of quarters, and guys get mad at me. Pro athletes get mad at me when I say this. Teams don't know they suck. Teams don't know that they're supposed to suck until, sometimes it can take 2 or 3 quarters. Sometimes it can take a couple of weeks before a team realizes they're just not good. And Georgia Tech's not good. And they're going to win. They're going to win 3 or 4 games this year. They're not a good football team. So Clemson is doing what they're supposed to do. Now we have Clemson with a touchdown, which makes it
scored another touchdown.
33-10. Will Shipley, is that his second of the game?
I believe that's his second of the game.
So 33-10, extra point pending, which will move it to a push.
It's good. It's good. Right now we're kissing cousins.
Kissing cousins. All right. So it'll be 34-10 here. That's executive producer Vladimir Lewisant, by the way, who's chiming in on the Clemson game. So Clemson's going to do what it's supposed to do. They're going to run away with this game. It wasn't a pretty first half of football. There was not a lot of great execution offensively. But again, I say this all the time. I've said this before for years. They shouldn't even touch the rankings for the first 2 or 3 weeks of a season. What's the rush? What's the rush in after 1 week and somebody beating, the Sisters of the Poor 53-10? Well, we're going to bump them up 1 notch. How do you do that? Why do you do that? I get it gives us all something to talk about, and I'm in the business of having something to talk about, so that's great. But ultimately, what do you really know about a team after the first week? Look, Notre Dame lost, so the Notre Dame naysayers are going to be like, see, Notre Dame getting too much credit. They're not that good. And when we get to the end of the year, they'll point to the loss against Ohio State in week 1. Anybody who watched that game knows Notre Dame's a good football team. Notre Dame's not going to be a pushover this year. They're going to be a top 10 team all year. They're going to be a good football team. They'll be in the mix for the football playoff. You can count on it, like they are every year. Love what they did in that game. I love the fact that they put the ball in Tyler Bucher's hands. In big spots, they had a 3rd down inside their own 5. It was 3rd and 7. This might have been late in the second quarter. And they said, hey, go throw the football. You know how many teams with a young quarterback in that position would say, you know what, let's run it. Let's live to fight another day. We'll kick it away. And I don't even think they got the first down, by the way. They came a yard short. The route was about a yard short of the first down. And they didn't get the first down. They punted it away, short field. I think Ohio State wound up scoring a touchdown. That's all fine. But it's the fact they were willing to put the ball in the quarterback's hands. That's a great sign. That's a great sign for the kind of play calling you're going to see throughout the year from Notre Dame. And they've got a good defense. They just got worn down at the end of the day. It's first game of the season. Guys are blowing wind. Like me on the treadmill on a Monday morning. It's not pretty. I can promise you. Vlad, do you ever do any treadmill work? You a treadmill guy at all? I know you're lean, so you probably don't need to run much.
No.
If you ran if you ran a lot, and turned sideways, we'd miss you. Wouldn't even see you. You're so skinny. You're Flacco. And I don't mean Joe Flacco. It's okay. I'm fat. I'm fat and you're Flacco. It's fine.
Gout. Like you're gout.
Oh, I got awful gout, dude.
That's what I'm saying.
It's terrible. Gout is just I've got the David Wells illness. It's awful.
Yeah.
Oh, it's terrible.
Gout, I think of you.
Yeah, no, it's brutal. Gout is just let me tell you, I don't know how many people out there have dealt with it. If you've never had gout, I pray for you that you've never had gout. And I don't even pray. And I'd pray for you that you don't have gout. It's the worst when it hits. Can't walk for like 2 or 3 days. It's terrible. It's and you know what it is? It's an illness of excess. Pork, alcohol, which I don't even drink alcohol. Shellfish, soda, those are all the things that lead to it. I know, now I'm Dr. Dean Adele. I went from Willard Scott to Dr. Dean Adele. This is going to be a fun sweat. I'm so glad I don't have money on this game. So
I'm loving this right now.
So for people that are, half the country has legalized sports betting. If you're listening to us in Wichita, Kansas, on our affiliate there.
Except for South Florida.
Yeah.
Except for Florida.
But kudos if you're in Kansas because you just got legalized. So now they have sports betting there, which means you're going to see sports betting ads, every other ad on your TV dial, no matter what you're watching. If it's Days of Our Lives, you're going to see a FanDuel ad. If it's Lifetime and a Christmas in September movie, you're still seeing a gambling ad.
Now that's crazy.
It is, but it is. They spend tons of money. That's what they do, though.
Could you imagine, like, somebody with their wife watching a Lifetime movie
and all
of a sudden during a commercial break?
Well, I'm going to tell you something interesting. I'm going to tell you something interesting. I know
you have odds on who the killer is.
But can I tell you something funny? The largest growing segment of sports bettors are females. It's a dirty little secret.
You know why, right?
Dirty little secret because they know because the guys that they're with are doing it and they're saying, "Hey, I want in on the action too."
Yeah, man.
It's a way to bond.
I love women, but man, when a woman knows if she starts winning and lets you know that she won, oh my God. That's some trash talk you don't want to hear, boss.
I got it.
That's some trash talk you don't want to hear.
Can you imagine? Yeah. Well, I got to tell you, you look at a lot. You look around the industry now. A lot of the prominent, I don't want to say prominent, but a lot of the up and coming sports handicappers are females. There's so many of them out there. Some better than others, but there's so many women. Right? Huh?
Cynthia Freeland.
Oh, yeah. Cynthia Freeland's out there.
Nolan.
Yeah. Kelly Stewart.
Great. Kelly Stewart.
Yeah. No, there's a number. They know their stuff.
They know their stuff. And they
absolutely.
Win. And they win.
Yes.
You know why? Because you know why? I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you something that's crazy.
Okay. Go ahead.
You want to hear this?
Yep.
I'm going to blow your minds. Everybody that's listening. First show, cash in.
Yeah.
It's going to blow your mind.
Okay.
Gambling on sports is the only time that men and women differ, where women don't gamble with emotion while men do. That's why they win.
Wow. That's
the only time.
I'll guarantee you there is something.
Women don't use emotion. This
Vlad.
is the only time when they don't use emotion.
Yes. Vlad, that's such a great point. Emotion. Yes. Because
they're smart.
I have a niece. I have a 23-year-old niece, right? Back in Connecticut. And very athletically gifted, very into sports, but doesn't follow professional sports the way, most guys do. She's just, other than the Yankees, she doesn't really live and die with much of anything. But if I tell her, hey, I need a good fantasy lineup to put together, she'll bust out her MacBook and open it up and have 7,000 spreadsheets open with all the statistics. They're much more analytical. They go by the numbers more than emotion, like you're saying. And that's what makes them effective, I think. I think there's something to be said for that.
There you go. Like right now, Clemson has the ball.
Yeah, they're at their own 34. 5:15 left. They're going to get a few first downs. Yeah, but they get a few first downs. They're going to kneel on it. This game's ending at 34-10. Yeah, it's ending at 34-10.
They'll kick a field goal. This could be a 37-10 game.
34-10. That'll be your final. Unless Georgia Tech somehow gets it back and gets a garbage touchdown late, which which could be like the awful backdoor cover from hell. I'll say that Clemson. This winds up 34-10.
You don't want somebody to lose right now, don't you? You don't want the people that took Georgia Tech to get.
It's first night of the show. I don't want anybody to lose. I'll be very happy if this winds up a push and people didn't buy the hook. If you bought the hook, hey, all the power to you. But I'll be very happy for you if this winds up a push, because there's a whole bunch of people right now sweating this thing out. Like one of our rejoins says, we're all sweating it out together.
And I love it. I want to see them sweat.
Yeah.
I want to see them sweat.
Oh, Clemson's driving. Wire, just take a knee. Run the football and punt it away.
I told you this. Another thing you're going to listen to.
The game is off the board. By the way, the game is off the board now. You can't bet on it now.
I'd be right a lot. You're going to figure that out. I'd be right a lot.
All right. That's what he says. That's our executive producer, Vladimir Lewisant. John Belmer is our producer at Master Control in Houston tonight. Coming up in a few minutes, I want to get into this Aaron Judge home run barrage. He's hit 3 in 3 games. He is single-handedly carrying the Yankee offense right now, although today he got a little bit of help from Marwin Gonzalez and Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. I said Isaiah. You know who that's not? That's like the Mike Francesa thing. Francesor.
I don't know who Isaiah
Kiner-Falefa. I haven't had to do these names on the radio in 6 years, so Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. I can't say. You know what? I feel a promo coming with me just flubbing it. I hate the fact that they call him IKF. The guy has a name. It drives me nuts when I hear Michael K say it. Maybe that's why they don't say it. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa hit a home run today along with Marwin Gonzalez and Oswaldo Cabrera. I mean, this guy looks like a Gold Glove defensive player in his first month in the major leagues. I mean, it's amazing. And he will hit. I can promise you. The guy's hitterish. The dude can hit. By the time we come back, we'll know if many hearts have been broken on this Clemson-Georgia game. I'll get into Aaron Judge and his run at 61, 62. What does it mean? We'll talk about that as we continue. I'm Jason Page. First night of the cash-in. Glad you're with us on the Sports Map Radio Network. Thank you, sir.
Look at Clemson drive, baby.
No, don't do it. I almost feel like I have. I almost feel like I have Georgia Tech in the 24.
This is so nasty right now. If you took the total and they score a touchdown and hit the extra point, that's gonna be a push, and then they're gonna go over. All right now.
Nah.
They're at the 20. They're at the 22 with 2:34 to go.
And they're rushing like it's the hurry up.
And
that's why.
Ball.
And that's why when I see
touchdown.
No.
He's at the 3. He's at the 3. They're about to score. This is
take a bunch of knees.
This is
Come on.
nasty. No lube used whatsoever. Gosh.
See, now if you're the coach for Georgia Tech, are you pissed?
Nah, suck it up. Have your men defend. Bastards. Touchdown.
Oh, this is bad beat territory.
No. This is bad beat territory. All right, we got 2 minutes. Second down. They're running.
By the way, Georgia Tech could also get the ball back and score.
Yeah, dude, it took them. Look how many points they scored.
Down to 2 minutes. They could legitimately right now. They can run the clock out. There's enough time. They could run the clock out.
They could, but they
got a backup quarterback in.
It doesn't matter. And he needs to play.
You got to run this out.
And they're throwing the ball.
No.
Touchdown. Oh my God! Clemson did this to everybody.
That's so dirty.
Wow! It's over. They scored. It's 40-10. He threw a touchdown, a 3-yard touchdown.
Wow, that's so dirty.
He rolled out to the. I saw it.
I saw it.
He rolled out to the right. Nasty work.
Oh, that's so
Dabo Sweeney
dirty.
has no love for you. I love Dabo. I love it. All you guys that took Georgia Tech, you lost. 58 minutes you sweated. You sweated for 3.5 hours.
John, if at some point you can get that highlight of that last touchdown, let me know. Because it was so dirty. Just so dirty.
Even though we want everybody to win, I kind of wanted people to win.
Oh, it's
Not
so
because I had
dirty.
any bets in it. But
it's so bad.
Look at that. If you took the under, you just got screwed.
Oh, that too. It went bad both ways.
Yeah, because if they hit the extra point, it's 41-10. So they push. If you took the over, they push in the total.
Yeah.
I told you we were about to score 2 touchdowns. I called this, man. Come on, man.
What was the total?
51.
135 left. Ain't over yet. Stand by.
George,
Stand by. Stand by. God, I almost regret having John in Houston play that because I can't stand Michael K. Yes Network, Michael K. The most petty. I'm just going to say it. I'm going to just continue incinerating bridges 6 years after I last did. The most petty, soft, thin-skinned snowflake you've ever met in this industry. Ever. Oh, my God. He had to call Yes Network. And you know what the worst part is? What'd you say, Vlad?
See the beef you start?
Well, here's the problem.
I
worked at ESPN Radio New York, and it wasn't there for more than a few months. But I filled in for Kay, and he kind of did me wrong at a public event we were at. And then I kind of went after him after I left there for doing a crappy interview with Buck Showalter where it sounded like he didn't have any idea who Buck Showalter was in a 15-minute interview. And I just hammered him on social media. First of all, he blocked me. It's like, dude, grow up. I'm going to take my toys and go home. You can't say anything bad about me. And see ya! And he said, that's what he said to me. He said, see ya! And then I found out, a couple of years later, I actually went to go meet with them to go back to work there. Had a friend there. They wanted me to come back. And found out months later that Kay went to them and said, don't hire him. That's so bad, dude. Come on. Yeah, he mic blocked me. Before we get to Aaron Judge, to update you on something we've been following closely. Georgia Tech, if you had them plus the 24, I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. Clemson scored. Clemson decided to throw the football with under 2 minutes left when they could have run the clock out from the 3-yard line. They score a touchdown. It's 41-10. If you had Clemson and were given the points, congratulations. You're going to probably win unless something crazy happens here and Georgia scores a touchdown in the final minute 30, which could happen. If you had the under, you got screwed on that touchdown. And if you had Georgia Tech, you got screwed on that touchdown. This is bad beat territory. This has got to be.
Yeah, this is bad beat territory or backdoor cover territory. It's a yin and yang.
14-10 at the half. If you've got Georgia Tech, you're feeling good about life. You're knocking down some drinks.
No, it wasn't even 14-10 at the half. It was 14-10.
Middle of the third quarter, I think it was still 14-10.
It was 17-10, to be quite honest with you, towards late in the third. And then all of a sudden,
Here's the problem, though. I just saw the yardage statistics. It's 238-90 in favor of Clemson. It's hard to complain if you don't get the cover. You've had 90 yards of total offense in the game.
Well, it's a final.
That's it.
Clemson beat Georgia Tech 41-10. It's over.
In the words of Howard Cosell, it's over. 41-10. For those of you that had Georgia Tech in the points, if you want to come and cry with us, we have a you know how in figure skating they have the kiss and cry area where like after they've skated, like at the Olympics, we've got a kiss and cry area. Yeah, if people want to call in and being part of like if you need like the crying room, we're here for you.
We won't give you a crying crew. We'll just give you another parlay ticket. Let's just give you another parlay card for you to play.
Parlay is all. If you want to parlay, you're going to lose. This is why I don't do parlays. I do not do parlays. 1-800-224. I've barely given out the number tonight because it's my first show and I forgot how to give out the number. And it's the first show I've done in 6 years, like 6.5 years. And I forgot how to give out the phone number. Plus, I've got a lot to say after taking a 6.5-year vacation. 800-224-2004, 800-224-2004 if you want to weigh in. Getting back to the highlight you heard, because that is what we were talking about. Aaron Judge hit his 54th home run today. Even if it was Michael Kay on the call, it still was his 54th home run. It was a laser beam, too, if you didn't see it, into the second level in left field. Anyway, Judge now is 54. He's a home run ahead of Roger Maris's pace when Maris hit 61 in 61. And now Aaron Judge is in a position to surpass that mark. Pretty special stuff from Aaron Judge right now. He's had 3 home runs in the last 3 games. And you know what? I thought I had the John Sterling call. I was hoping I did. I wanted to give the John Sterling call, but I don't have it. Yeah, because I can't have the last thing that I'm thinking of be the Michael
the last
Kay
thing you're
call.
Thinking of is not about Michael Kay and his call. The last thing you're thinking about is whatever you have to say about Aaron Judge.
That's true.
It's all great and everything. Great season. Better lead them to a title. How about that?
Well, I mean, that's all good, and we can talk about that part of it. But I'm more interested in this question, and I know it's a made-for-sports radio topic, and if I were listening to somebody and they did this topic, I'd probably be yelling at my radio, that's a lazy topic. But if Aaron Judge hits 62, is he recognized as the single-season home run king?
In the American League?
No. Forget that. Let's just say baseball.
I know what you're saying, and I'm giving you the answer.
Well, your answer. Your answer is for the American League. And I'm conflicted on this because I'm the same guy that, when the NCAA says, well, so and so had a Final Four appearance in 2015, but then we found out they had one player who was at the end of the bench who was ineligible because he got a D when he really got a C, and he's not eligible to play, so we're taking that Final Four appearance away. And I'm sitting there going, well, everybody saw it. It's too late. They were at the Final Four. They played the games. They played the season. You can't take it away. Is it the same thing when you're talking about something like this? I mean, we all saw, the McGuire-Sosa home run chase, and then obviously Creamer the Clear Berry, whatever you want to say. And some fans in San Francisco, just like there are some women that still think Liberace was straight. There are some fans in San Francisco who will still insist.
Wait a minute.
Oh yeah, no, there is.
What women thought Liberace was straight?
Oh, there are. Trust me. I can go to my mom's bingo hall and find you old ladies that will still insist Liberace wasn't gay. He wasn't gay. He wrote a book and talked about the women he did. Anyway,
they're old.
But okay, putting that aside, there are people in San Francisco that will still say, Barry Bonds is the home run champion and all of this is great. I'm very conflicted, and I say this even as a Yankee fan. And I don't really live and die with any team's losses except the Yankees. And even I can't say definitively, if Aaron Judge hits 62, is he the real single-season home run king? And
No.
And this is one of the few things that I would take calls on or read social media on because I'm fascinated to know how people feel about it. And it probably just depends on whether you hate McGuire, Sosa, or Bonds. But I'm fascinated to know what people think. We'll come back and talk about it since I shortchanged myself. I'm Jason Page. It's the Cash In on the Sports Map Radio Network. So there's a Twitter feed called John Sterling Calls. There's actually a Twitter feed that is called John Sterling Calls, and they have all of his play-by-play stuff. And usually I could go there, and the John Sterling home run call will be there. And today, for some reason, the Isaiah Kiner Falefa call is there, and the Judge home run isn't. That's so weird. Huh. Thought for sure it would be there. I was ready. I was ready, man. Yeah, good. People might see my husband walking back and forth. He's got to go take the dog out. That's a sick cover. That is a sick cover.
I told you it was going to happen. That's what I love about it. I told you it was going to happen, too.
It really is awful. So, by the way, you were able to watch the show online, which means it hasn't been pulled by, like, Facebook or any of those people. So that's
No,
good.
I'm watching it. Yeah, good. I'm watching it right now.
What are you watching, on YouTube or Facebook or what?
I'm watching it on Facebook right now.
Okay.
On my iPad, and I'm on Facebook as well. I see Mark Felsot's comments and stuff like that.
Oh, what? Are there any other comments, or is that it?
Russell Betts.
Yeah.
3 months out of the year, maybe 2, even not 4. I guess that's maybe the weather talk, and then that was it.
Okay. Got to train these monkeys. I'm kidding. You're not monkeys. I can't wait to be in a real studio, though. Ugh. This is killing me. I thought we'd be in a real studio for the first show. I really did.
Yeah, man. No worries. Listen, bro.
No, I know.
We'll talk off.
No, I appreciate that, John.
For everything that we've gone through,
get this off. This is true. This is true. Get a tax lawyer. All right, I got something I'm going to play here when we come back. All right, we're coming back, Vlad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the bad beats too. Oh, if you had Georgia Tech plus the 24, I feel for you. In the words of Bill Clinton, I feel your pain. I really do.
Well, if you had Clemson, good job. Good job.
It really is the two extreme. It's the two ends of life. It really is. It's the yin, the yang. It's the sun and moon. It's life and death. It's the exhilaration of that Georgia Tech, of that Clemson touchdown late, and the cover versus the feeling of having Georgia Tech and that awful, awful sensation that you just lost the mortgage.
Well, what about Sunday night? What if you were LSU fan?
Oh yeah.
And you had LSU minus the 3. You're thinking you're going to overtime and you can cover.
Is Brian Kelly the most hated college coach in the nation right now? Outside of maybe Lane Kiffin. I mean, is because Lane Kiffin just lives to troll everybody. Brian Kelly,
I like that.
Yeah, and I think some of that is just shtick. I think Brian Kelly's just legitimately, yeah. Is he the guy that everybody's rooting against outside of LSU this year? Is he that guy?
Well, everybody's rooting against Alabama, but yeah, I think so because with the whole accent, all of a sudden,
now
trying to
all of a
fit
sudden
in.
now all of a sudden he's got an accent. It's great.
He has an accent and everything.
What are you doing? Are you like
Florida
opening
State.
a bag of Doritos or something? It sounds like you're in a bag of something. You all right?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was trying to get my charger
Okay.
out of my
Fine.
bag.
All right.
The horrible Southern Louisiana accent that he was trying to pull off during those recruiting videos and everything like that. So,
by the way, I don't.
He's hated right now.
By the way, I don't have the John Sterling home run call of Aaron Judge from today, number 54, but I do have this.
And the pitch hit in the air to left field and deep. Cave going back on the track at the wall, and she is gone. He is Ralph Kiner-Falefa. 8 homers to the left field seats. Isaiah, a player, and the Yankees take a 5-2 lead.
Second of the year for Kiner-Falefa.
Oh, no Susan Waldman today. Wow, no Susan Waldman on the analysis.
Yeah, save it, man. She took the day off.
Yeah, why not? Sterling's taking off all the road games, so outside of Boston and New York.
That's nothing. But the Yankees announcing crew's been very weird this year.
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah, I don't want to get too inside baseball here because people outside New York won't really understand what we're talking about. But yeah, it's been weird this year. They got Paul O'Neill doing games from his basement in Cincinnati. They've got John Sterling only doing home games. Kay has been off a lot during the summer. And yeah, it's just I wish I had the Yankees with the announcers of the Mets. Oh, give me Gary Cohn, Ron Darling, and Keith Hernandez all day. Give me that. Just give me that crew with the Yankees.
Nah.
And no, seriously. That crew is great.
I want wins.
I know, but see, I'm about, because I watch a lot and I want to enjoy what I'm watching. So anyway, Yankees win. John Sterling the call on WFAN. So I was talking about Aaron Judge and this march towards 61. He's a home run ahead of the pace of Roger Maris with his 54th home run today. And he's got a legit shot. And teams keep pitching to him, which is kind of interesting. I thought we'd get to a point where teams would just stop pitching to him, and that's why I thought he wouldn't get there. If I were a betting man, which if it were legal here in California, I would be, I thought they would just stop pitching to him, especially the way the rest of the Yankee lineup has been performing around him. Why wouldn't you just pitch around him? Don't give him anything to hit. Make somebody else beat you. Because God knows nobody else can right now in that lineup on a consistent basis. And instead, they continue to pitch to him. And if you get it anywhere near the plate, he's going to hit it out. And he did today. Well, did you see, by the way, did you see the ball Gary Sanchez hit today? Oh, my God. He hit a ball. He hit a ball 479 feet. He hit a ball into the left field bleachers at Yankee Stadium today into a spot that I have never seen anybody hit it. It was the very back. Oh, my God. He's only got 14 or 15 home runs, and I think he's hitting lower than my weight right now, which is pretty hard to do because I'm pretty heavy. I think he's hitting like 215, something like that.
You're Gordo, huh?
Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible, but it is what it is. So anyway, Yankees win today 5-2, and kudos to the Yankees for getting a couple wins in a row. Rays came back and beat the Red Sox today. It looked like the Yankees were going to pick up a game on Tampa Bay, and then the Red Sox bullpen went and blew a game they should have won. And Tampa Bay just continues to... Tampa Bay is right now to the Yankees what the Braves are to the Mets. Just putting the heat on. Every time you turn around, Tampa Bay's still figuring out ways to win games. And I'll say this and say this, but say this about Tampa Bay too. They're about to get Wander Franco back. He hasn't been there. He hasn't been around for a while, and they're going to get one of the best young players in baseball back right in time for the final stretch run of the season. There's still a possibility you could have 4 teams from the American League East in the playoffs. I don't think it'll happen, but Baltimore's still hanging in there.
Seattle's got one. Seattle's got a wild card spot.
Well, you would think, but Seattle was in there last year. Seattle was hanging in there last year and then kind of fell by the wayside late. Right now, it is Tampa Bay with the top wild card spot. Seattle is 1 game behind them, and Toronto is 1 game behind them. Baltimore today lost a doubleheader. And I'll tell you, something that doesn't happen often in baseball, to get into the sort of handicapping side of it, it is very rare that a team loses both games of a doubleheader. Most doubleheaders just wind up splits. It's just the way it is. It's very hard to beat a team twice in one day. And Toronto today went into Baltimore and beat the Orioles twice at a time the Orioles could not afford that to happen. Still, everything is on the upswing for the Orioles. That team's going in the right direction. Give me them or give me Washington for the next 5 years. It's the Orioles all day. And everybody cried when the Orioles got rid of Trey Mancini at the trade deadline and dealt him to Houston. And they started calling up prospects. What people didn't realize is that was the right move. They're starting to call up their chips, whereas some teams will keep them down there for an extra year. No, they brought up Adley Rutschman. No, they brought up Gunnar Henderson. No, they brought up DL Hall. That organization's going in the right direction. You want to see those kids right now. And they're getting a chance to play in the middle of a playoff chase that nobody expected before this season started in Baltimore. You are thrilled if you're an Orioles fan. And if you're not, you're just not that smart. Sorry to turn off all our fans in Baltimore. You're just not smart. You should want to see Gunnar Henderson every day. The kid can hit. Adley Rutschman. Santander. I mean, that team's got talent. They're an arm or two away from really being a factor. The problem is for all of these teams, the AL East is just cannibalism. I mean, it really is.
That's good.
Everybody just beats the crap. That is the hardest division in baseball, and it's not even close. The AL East is just, it should be called the AL Beast. That, in fact, that's what we're going to rename it that right now. It's the AL Beast.
Don't you like that? Don't you want to see competition?
Absolutely.
Don't you want to see parity? All right, then. So you want to see
it's tough. But I mean, look, I do as a guy who talks about it for a living. Again.
Okay.
But if you're a fan, I mean, if you're a Baltimore fan, you're still looking up at Toronto. You're still looking up at the Yankees. The only team you're looking down on is hapless Boston, who's still trying to figure out if they can keep Xander Bogaerts or not.
But you were looking up at them from afar, like you were like in the depth of hell before.
Yes.
Now you're looking up at them. You're not looking that far. You're like in the bunk bed. They're not that far away. So yeah, they stayed the course. Give them credit. Give their managers, give their general manager, give their scouting team, give them all the credit, because if you're telling me that Baltimore would be above 500 and contending for a wild card spot
you're in
right
the
now,
mix in September 5th.
I'd be like, man,
yes.
Whatever they're feeding you,
I would have had you peeing into a cup if you had told me that. I mean, there's no way you would have been able to.
I think you bought something from the wire. Definitely think that. Like, definitely you're doing things in the wire. You're doing things in Baltimore that you shouldn't be, because if you thought that they were going to be a above 500 team and competitive, in fighting for a wild card spot, and where now you're looking at their future in the next 5 years, you're like
Mountcastle. I mean, look at this line: right. Mullins, Rutschman, Santander, Mountcastle, who a lot of people conveniently forget about, who could have won Rookie of the Year last year, who's got another 20 home run season, 21 and 73 this year. The average is a little down, but everybody's is. Ramon Urias. They got this kid DL Hall. They got pitch. I mean, I'm telling you,
baseball's in a good place, man. They got a lot of young talent.
That's true.
A lot of young, charismatic players, and the reason why is because the reason why I'm saying that, and if, low key, I bet you Paige have a lot of these players that he was mentioning, the baseball cards, and you've. Well,
that's how I know though, because I follow guys in the minor leagues.
Know them. Yeah. And a lot of these players that you knew, or that you've known and you've mentioned and talked about, they are actually contributing, and you see them as the future stars of this game for the next 10 to 12 years. So when you see that and the stars that are already current, you have to say baseball is good. Now you understand why they added more playoff teams. Now you understand why the middle of the road teams, the mid-market teams, are not so quick to let go of their stars or some of their pieces because they have a chance to contend now.
Absolutely.
For a playoff
Absolutely. And listen, Gunnar Henderson, he's the prized prospect of that organization, and he is already showing he is the goods. And Rutschman behind the plate, I mean, that team is the goods. But again, it's tough when you're talking about Toronto in that division. You know, Bichette, Guerrero Jr., and Springer, some of the arms they've got. Nate Pearson's back now. I mean,
all right, let me ask you this. What do you think the sports fans in Baltimore are going crazy for?
Okay.
The Orioles contending or Lamar Jackson's contract that hasn't been signed yet?
Lamar Jackson. It's football. It's Lamar Jackson. Yeah. No, I get it. I get it. But your team's been so bad for so long in Baltimore that like there was one day this week where I know they were playing Oakland, and fine, it's the A's, which is, you know, a glorified AAA team. And they had like 13,000 people there. You're in the middle of a wild card chase. At that point, I think they were a game out. And I'm like, come on. You can't put more than 13,000 people in a gorgeous ballpark, by the way. I know, yeah, it's Baltimore and the streets aren't as safe as some people would like. But I will knock the fans because I see it too many times. I saw it in Cleveland this week. Here's the Guardians. See, I didn't say Indians. It's the Guardians, and on a night again at Progressive Field, they had like, again, it was another one of those nights where they had like 12,000 people, and your team's in the middle of a playoff race. Come on.
Hey, first of all,
what else do you have to do in Cleveland? I've lived there. There isn't much left else to do.
That's messed up. Because you probably can say the same thing about Baltimore. No offense, Baltimore, but you know, it is.
Isn't that the Wire? Is that the Wire, or is it Atlanta that's the Wire?
That's the Wire.
Yeah,
that's the Wire.
Baltimore. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Not really much to do. But guess what? They're not used to it. They're not used to this success. They're not used to winning. It's a show and prove. Continue winning, and the people will come.
A question for the men in the audience. What is it? You'll have to stay tuned and find out. I'm Jason Page. It's the Cash In on the Sports Map Radio Network.
Oh yeah, this is going 5 sets.
Huh?
This is going 5 sets.
Yeah, we're not getting him tonight. That's why I didn't tease him.
You're gonna have to get him on a recorded one. It's gonna have to be something like in the afternoon where you could record with him.
Well, I don't know what his schedule is tomorrow. I'll check.
Well, I mean, just by theory, what's tomorrow? Tuesday, so it probably has to be the quarterfinals for the women, and maybe round of 16 for the men.
Yeah, but if he was working the late match tonight, he may not be tomorrow. Is what I'm thinking. But I'll check. I'll find
wait,
out.
Is he work? No. Time out. Is he only work? Fowler's back. Fowler's doing the.
Yeah, but he's on. He might
back.
be on the court. Is what I'm saying. He's doing court side, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
They don't give it so because of the men. He has to do the men.
Yeah, it's 3. Well, Sinner. Well, there's only one. The Chilich match. Yeah, there's no way.
Chilich, there's 2 matches.
Yeah.
The Chilich and
Which match is on Ash? Is Sinner or is it Chilich?
I would say Chilich is probably the main one.
Let me look. Hold on. I'll be able to tell when I look. Yeah, that's Ash. We're not getting him. Nope. Okay. That's what it is.
You want to do NFL tomorrow?
Yeah, I could be up for that. And like I said, if he comes along and we can get him late in the show or something, then fine. I'm just not going to advertise it. That's all.
Nah, yeah, I get it. I mean, tomorrow's Tuesday's show. Tuesday, most of the NFL players are going to be off.
Do you work tomorrow?
No, I'm off this week.
Okay.
From the other job, and obviously I fly out Friday.
Okay.
So
to those of you, by the way, watching on the stream, on the video stream, hello. I haven't talked to you guys much tonight because we've been kind of doing the show, and it's our first show, so we're kind of getting used to doing this this radio thing again. All right, we've got to be quick here. Coming back. I have got blaster boxes of baseball cards to give away this week. I just haven't figured out how I want to give them away. I'll figure it out. How would you feel, Vlad, if your girlfriend, which I would assume is fictitious because I haven't heard you mention a girlfriend, but if you had a girlfriend, if you had a girlfriend, how would you feel if your girlfriend could outdrink you? How would that make you feel?
Can't do it.
So that's a no-go zone. If your girlfriend could outdrink you, you'd be like, no, it's a hard pass. Not a Mike's Hard Lemonade. It's a hard pass.
Like, man. Shorty can't outdrink you. What's wrong with you?
John Belmer, our producer in Houston at Master Control. If your girlfriend or wife, I don't know what your status is, could outdrink you, would that be somebody you could be with?
I think so. If I'm a drinker, if I'm somebody who enjoys drinking, isn't it kind of hot to have a woman outdrink you or be able to go drink for drink with you?
See, he took the opposite approach and said, if she could drink with you, isn't that a good thing? That she could, if you like to drink.
There's no problem drinking with me, but out drinking me, no. Because I drink. So therefore, if you outdrink me, you're pretty much almost in a capacity of blacking out.
There's this woman at the U.S. Open who is seen on video knocking down a couple of brews. Her name is Megan Lucky.
Damn. Well, it says it right there in her
last
name.
Apparently, she's a huge drinker. And she's like the darling of the U.S. Open now. No, not the tennis. It's all about Megan Lucky. I'll explain as we continue on the Cash In. I'm Jason Page. Glad to have you with us on our opening night on the Sports Map Radio Network.
It also depends what she's drinking, by the way. Like if she's drinking something like,
I'll give my answer to it on the other, because we got about a 3 minute on the other side. I'll give you my logic. Not that I'm dating women, but if I was dating a woman and she could, if I was a drinker, or even if I wasn't, and the woman could like drink me under a table, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you what I think. No, this is an old promo because they're talking about Aaron Judge with 46 home runs. All right, we got a few minutes here. Vlad, I'm going to stand up for a second. Take a breather. Maybe he already did. All right, I'll be right back.
Okay.
One thing I could still do.
Oh man.
Can be done with OBS actually, but it's problem with the problem with one is computers. Actually, it's that one. It's the video. Yannick Sinner advances. Papa Dubes. Hey, JB. Have they talked to you at all about what we're doing with podcasting? I'm not worried about it tonight, but yeah, but see, so nobody talked to you because what we actually want to do, and I don't care about tonight because it's the first night and we're just all getting our feet under us. I don't want to podcast the entire 3 hours and just put it up because most of it is so outdated because we're talking about live games. So what we're going to do, the way we're ultimately going to do it is, and we had already talked to the guy who runs digital about it, is we're just going to take select segments that aren't dated, like me talking about Lamar Jackson or me talking about Aaron Judge. We're going to take those things and put those into the podcast because it's not dated stuff, rather than putting in stuff where we're talking about a game that's live. It just doesn't. There's just no point, you know. So we'll have to communicate a bit about it, which is part of the reason that I do the rundowns, is so that you kind of know these are the segments that aren't about dated stuff. But I don't know. We'll figure it out. It's just like I said. It's the first night for a podcast. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Yeah. That's fine. Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Yeah. I wouldn't worry about it for the first night, honestly. Actually, I take it back. You know what? For the first night, just put up the 3 hours. Just because I want to go back and be able to listen to it, and if that gives me an opportunity to listen, then I'd rather do that. Or if there's a place where the show lives that I could actually go and listen to it, that would work too. If there's a way to get me the 3 hours or something. Okay. Perfect. Yeah, do that. Thank you. Hopefully we're not making your life too difficult tonight. All right. Why? What's been on in this time slot? Oh, Jesus. Hey, Vlad, you know what hour it is? I'm going to tell you.
Hour number 3?
No, you know what it is? Final hour of a Monday edition of the show. Oh. I haven't had a chance to say that in 6.5 years. So much fun to be back on the air. It is. Again, how the sausage gets made, and some people won't care about knowing this, but I'm kind of an open book. the original plan for my company, Decibel 88, which is the production company that houses this show in conjunction with Sports Map Radio Network, the plan was not for me. The plan was not for me to get back on the air. Vlad knows the whole story, and I won't bore you with the details, but I wasn't going to get back on the air. I was going to just kind of take a more of a laid back approach, fill in here and there. Then all of a sudden an opportunity arose that I wasn't expecting. And here I am back on the air. It's like Dusty Baker. You know, you weren't expecting that managerial opening to come available in Houston. Or like Tony La Russa in Chicago with the White Sox, which, God, they got to fire him. So I don't want to be compared to him right now, even though he is a Hall of Famer. God, has he been awful this year in Chicago with the White Sox. And last year, their fans crushed me when I got on social media and said, you got to get rid of Tony La Russa. They were all like, oh, no, we're going to go to the playoffs. And how'd that work out? And now this year, they're all calling for his head. You're a bunch of phonies. You're all a bunch of phonies. And that team might make the playoffs. Who knows? They could win that division still. All right.
So they still might make the playoffs. What are you talking about?
They could. All right, real quick. Why I will not, if I were dating women, why I would not let a woman outdrink me. Oh, am I out of time? Darn it. I wanted to get to this. Yeah, see?
You're like Tony Schiavone right now.
I am. I'm just the worst. My Herm Edwards like clock management. I guess we'll have to hold it over.
Terrible.
Why I could not date a woman that outdrinks me. It's coming up. Oh, and more. I'm Jason Page. It's the Cash In on Sports Map Radio.
Wendy's new French toast sticks are so delicious.
I'm Tony Schiavone. We're out of time. That's great. Tony Schiavone. Can't believe he's still in the game all these years later.
Bro, listen, man. You got to give the credit, man. As long as they're still in the business. He was doing Braves minor league.
Yeah. Yeah, he was.
You know that, right? He was doing Braves minor league.
Yeah. I still got U.S. Open stuff I got to get to in this hour, too. This is the hour to do it.
One of the matches in.
Yeah, the Sinner match. Yannick Sinner. Who's a really good-looking guy, by the way. I could say that. Yannick Sinner just won.
Well,
Marin Cilic and Carlos Alcaraz are in the third set.
yeah, that's 1-5.
Oh, man, that's already after midnight there, too. That's a late night.
Yeah, that's 1-5.
All the nights there have been late. I think there's been like one early night there in like the entire week. Because all of Serena's matches were long.
Well, Serena.
Everybody on after Serena got screwed. Medvedev, oh, did he get the shaft? He was on after her like 2 or 3 times.
He also had to play an afternoon game. He also had to play an afternoon game the following day.
Cilic is a big server, man. These guys, man.
Oh, you know what's going to happen, right?
What?
They'll split the next two, and then the final set will be a tiebreaker.
Alcaraz is supposed to be like one of these future guys of tennis. But I want to talk about that too a little bit. I'll do one segment. I'll do one full segment on tennis, and then I'll get off it.
I'll tell you tomorrow, Wednesday, we get somebody to talk overs and totals.
I love doing
for the
that.
NFL season.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe it's time to get Jay. Bring Jay Root in.
I wonder how much he likes to talk about the numbers, though, more than like how this. You know, he's more of a guy that's in the room where the odds are made. So I always wonder about how best to use. You know, I don't know. I gotta think about it. We're coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed. Good tune. See, this is good. Belmer, this is good. It's a good job of our master control in Houston. Absolutely. The only rap CD I ever owned was The Chronic, by the way. Only rap CD I ever owned. I was a sophomore. I was a sophomore in high school. True story. I was a sophomore in high school, and kids were. It was the start of like the sagging your pants era, and I used to try to sag my jeans, but they were too tight. And
no, please.
Yeah, well,
please,
that's true.
Don't.
My dad used to yell at me, "Pull up your pants! Pull up your pants!" Get off your lawn. Get off my lawn, guy. And yeah, so I that was the only rap CD I ever, and it's to this day. The Chronic is, I mean, it's legendary.
It's
absolutely legendary.
It's a classic. Yes.
It is. And who would have thought back then? I mean, let's think about this for a second. Who would have thought back then that we would get to a point 30 years later where we'd be watching Corona commercials with Snoop Dogg sitting on a beach with a Corona? No, seriously. Who would have thought that 30 years? If I had told you 30 years ago, hey, I got to look into the future and you should see this commercial with Snoop Dogg drinking a Corona on the beach, you would have thought I was insane. Yet here we are.
Well, if you told me 30 years ago that hip hop music would be the number one brand of music in the world, then yeah, I would have looked at you like you were crazy. But now,
John,
2022,
yeah, go ahead, John. Yeah, the show with Martha Stewart was kind of a breakaway. It's kind of one of those watershed moments for Snoop Dogg and his evolution.
Watershed. No, I'll tell you what was watershed.
Oh yeah, okay.
Last year,
the Super Bowl. Yeah,
doing the Olympics.
The Super Bowl. Yes, I know what you're talking about. The Olympics. But the Olympics, right. The Olympics was funny.
He and Kevin Hart were doing their version of SportsCenter for the Olympics, and it was hysterical.
Yes. It kind of, because it's funny. Yes, they brought in Kerry. They brought in Kerry Champion and Kenny Mayne. Kenny's a buddy of mine, and they brought them in, and everybody was like, "Oh yeah, this Kenny Mayne, Kerry Champion thing." And Kevin Hart and Snoop Dogg stole the show. They absolutely stole the show.
Yeah, I'd rather Snoop tell me about track and field and beach volleyball, women's beach volleyball.
About that.
I'd rather hear it from Snoop and Kevin Hart than Kerry and Kenny Mayne. Sorry, right. And I love Kerry. Kerry's extraordinary, and Kenny Mayne's great, but it's Kevin and Snoop.
That is our executive producer, Vladimir Louisant. John Belmer is producing the show out of Houston. Vlad's in Miami. I'm Jason Page in sunny, well, not sunny. It's dark now. I'm in Palm Springs. It's sunny every day. I mean, it doesn't rain here.
Palm Springs.
Yeah, no, but it literally does not rain here. I mean, I've seen rain. I've lived here 3.5 years, and I've seen rain a handful of times. Like literally, never rains.
It doesn't rain in Southern California.
No, it doesn't. Like the song says.
Tony, right. It never rains in Southern California.
So let me.
It rains 11 days of the year.
Before I get to tennis, which I have given short shrift to tonight on the show, and there's only 4 times of the year you ever really talk about tennis. So when it's going on, you do have to give it some love. I have to finish before I get to tennis. The reason why I would never, we were talking about this thing about this woman, Megan Lucky, who is stolen the show at the U.S. Open with her drinking. She knocks down a couple of drinks on camera and everybody loves her, and then everybody goes and she has this Instagram post and it's got 264,000 views. I know. It's where we are these days. But the reason, now Vlad said he could not be in a relationship with a woman who drank more than him. John said if he was in a relationship with a woman and she drank this much, he would consider it, hey, really cool. We can go toe to toe. And if I like to drink a lot, she likes to drink a lot. I'll break the tie on this and say, if I were dating women, which I'm not, if I were dating women, I would not be able to. And I dated women in the past, but if I were dating women, I would not be able to put myself in a position where I drank with a woman who drank more than me, because I'd be concerned about the risks involved with said drinking. Guys get drunk. There's all sorts of things that can go wrong. Women get drunk. There's a lot of things that can go wrong. And I would be more living in a state of fear that God only knows, what's happening if she's out with her friends one night and I'm not there. She has too many. I don't think I could do that. So that's more my logic.
Hey, one of us has to be the mature one here. And it's her. That job fell to her. She's the mature one. I've delegated that job to her.
Are you casting roles?
Maturity, it goes to you. That's your strength.
There
you go.
Yeah, okay. All right. You're one of those old school people that casts roles in relationships.
Maturity. There you go. Yeah, listen. I'm gonna drink. You know what, Mama? Drink those White Claws.
All right.
That heavy stuff? No, I don't want you drinking none of that heavy stuff.
Is White Claw today what like Bartles and James was back in the 80s and 90s? Is that what White Claw is? Is it like the Zima? Is it like the Zima of of today?
I guess it would have to be. I've got a fridge. I don't know. Listen,
I should go to my fridge right now and bring it out on camera. Actually, I don't know if you're allowed to do that. But I've literally got a fridge full of White Claws that I'll never drink.
Are they paying?
Are they what?
Is White Claw paying?
White Claw is not paying. If White Claw was paying, I'd bring it up. Absolutely. Absolutely. But no, I wouldn't.
Claw.
Yeah. There was a time where I tried White Claw and then it just couldn't do it. Here's the good news. If you are a person that loves to place wagers on sports, there is one thing left to place wagers on tonight. The sports night has not ended yet when it comes to... There is tennis. You can bet on the U.S. Open right now. They are in the third set. Marin Cilic and Carlos Alcaraz at the U.S. Open, quarterfinal action. And, round of 16. The winner goes to the quarters. Carlos Alcaraz leads, they're one set apiece, 2-all in the third set. And right now, Marin Cilic is plus 145 to win the match. Carlos Alcaraz is minus 185. So there is still something left to gamble on if you're a degenerate like we are, and you just want to get something in before the night ends. I'm actually not a degenerate. I'm being a little self-deprecating there.
What?
What? I'm not a degenerate.
You're not a degenerate.
No.
You're a degenerate.
No, my degenerate days are long behind me.
You're a degenerate.
Listen, I'm a married man. I'm a married man.
I'm not an alcoholic. My alcoholic. No, we're just talking about White Claw.
I am a married man, and my husband and I actually live in the same condo together now, as opposed to 9,000 miles apart. I have to be a good boy.
And?
So it's just not allowed.
Like, oh, please, man.
No, listen. It's just as you get older, you got to make decisions.
To go gamble anymore. The thing is it's in your fingertips.
Nope.
It's in your fingertips.
I don't though. I won't do offshore betting anymore. After I had the chance to try out some of the legal sports betting in these states, and the ease with which you can put in money, take out money, all of those things. And I'm not going to name any particular brands because none of them are advertising here. If you want me to mention your brand, then you can advertise on the show.
Yes.
Reach out to me, Jason at decibel88.com. After doing that, it's so difficult to take your money out of an offshore sports book that it's just not worth it. And they're like, hey, we want to send it to you in crypto. And then by the time you get it, crypto's crashed and you have no money. No, I'm good. I'll wait. I don't want it in Ethereum or Bitcoin or Wolfcoin or Vladcoin. Cool. I don't want it in any of that. I'll just give me my money. I'm good. Yeah.
That's all good, but it still doesn't stop the fact that you're still a degenerate.
I still get mailers.
It doesn't hide that fact.
I still get mailers from the offshore sports books, and I haven't made a wager on them in years. And they're still trying to drag me back in.
Degenerate.
They're still trying to drag me back in.
You still look at it, don't you?
At the mailer?
And you still look at it, don't you?
Of course.
Yeah.
Just because I walk by a car lot that's got a Mercedes in it doesn't mean I'm going to buy the Mercedes. I'm just walking by the car lot. Simple as that.
Hey, if I'm an alcoholic and I walk by a bar, doesn't mean necessarily mean I'm going to go inside the bar, but I'm by the bar. I'm just hanging out there, just chilling.
All right, there is some stuff.
Why do you think I'm just chilling by the bar, even though I'm alcoholic?
While everybody is going crazy about one particular story at the U.S. Open, and I'm not talking about Serena, because that's a whole separate thing that's kind of above and beyond and sort of goes beyond tennis. That's just an enormous sports story in general.
Another story besides Serena?
There is. There actually is. And a lot of people think it's one thing. I'm going to explain to you why Nick Kyrgios potentially winning his first Grand Slam, that's not the story that I'm most intrigued by.
Story.
I will tell you the one that I am most intrigued by when we continue on the Cash In. I'm Jason Page. This is the Sports Map Radio Network.
Page not being a degenerate.
I'm really not. Dude, I don't. I'll tell you when I will tell you.
I never changed up to that.
No. I will tell you the couple of times that I've gone to Connecticut, that's been rough because I was going
to mention that.
Well, with like the FanDuel app. No. And I mean, the apps are so good. Like it's so. What do they have?
Right,
when it was legal down there, what did they have?
No, last time, nothing. Okay, so we had Hard Rock.
That was it,
right? Because we had Seminole.
Yeah,
that was it. And for a month, it was rocking. So basically, because I literally live 15 minutes away from the Hard Rock Casino.
Yeah,
the guitar.
Yeah.
So the minute they had that, the only thing we were waiting for, okay, boom, they legalized this. This is good. The only thing that's left is a sports book. And trust me, if South Florida had a sports book, there'll be a shift in bettors and gamblers.
Yeah, sure.
People won't necessarily want to go out west anymore. For a month, it was booming. And then all of a sudden, the courts came in and said it's not fair that the Santos was allowing the Seminoles to get away with everything, and the other Indian gaming casinos, they were upset, and then boom, they took it off. So now it's part of the ballot and issues, coming up in November. But when it was on, man, people were loving it. I mean, think about it.
Hold on one second, Vlad. Hold on one second, Vlad. What, John? No, it's okay. Okay. Really? Okay, don't worry about it then. Don't sweat it. Don't sweat it. It's all good. Thank you for checking. I was trying to get the final Clemson touchdown, but the call was so crappy. It wasn't worth it.
I would,
Yeah. There's only been one really disappointing rookie in baseball this year out of like all the star rookie cards and guys that were supposed to be big this year, and that was Spencer Torkelson in Detroit. It's been awful. All right, we're coming back. We haven't even gotten to the best thing from the weekend to talk about, and that was WWE Clash at the Castle. I didn't even get a chance to talk about it. Another good song by John Belmer, by the way. Yeah. No upsets at Clash at the Castle, though, as far as the betting was concerned. It was all chalk. All the favorites won. I do. Listen, John just asked if I bet
As
on
they
WWE. I do not. Hold on. Yeah. I don't bet. I do not bet. Hold on a second. I do not bet on WWE because I am now hosting a show in the era of sports talk where gambling is so prevalent. I keep tabs on all this stuff. And I don't, and I will say this about my wrestling watching before anybody starts to say, you watch wrestling? I don't generally watch the week to week minutia. I catch a few highlights on Twitter here and there. And I watch the pay-per-views, the major pay-per-views. Like I watched Clash at the Castle. You watch the Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, and that's it.
It's no longer.
What, Vlad?
Called pay-per-views.
Premium events. All right, fine. It's called premium events.
Live premium events.
It's fine.
Just call it by its proper term. That's all.
It's fine. It's fine. And
by the way, how are you going to gamble on wrestling?
There are people that do.
Like,
if they wouldn't be odds on it if people weren't betting on it.
It's scripted.
It is scripted, but if you don't, they keep that stuff under lock and key. And listen, I don't even think the wrestlers know it. You know as well as I do. If you've watched any of these documentaries, the wrestlers don't even know most of the time until just before the match. Unless you're a guy like Roman,
depending on
unless you're Roman Reigns, and then you're going to be champion until next WrestleMania, at the very least. At which point his title run will have been almost 1,000 days.
So I'm saying, if you know that, why wouldn't you just gamble on, or just bet on Roman Reigns?
I agree. I would listen. If you take chalk, 80 to 90% of the time, you're gonna be right. But the one time you bet a huge favorite and they lose, you're gonna lose your shirt too. And it does happen.
Bro, man.
It happens.
The 1, 2, 3 kid beating Razor Ramon type of upsets anymore.
No, okay? But the SummerSlam with Brock Lesnar ending the streak, that was an upset.
You mean the WrestleMania?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, so I mean, it does happen. Okay. Like I've looked. There are times where the underdogs do win, where people don't get it right. It does happen, but it's few and far between. I mean, if you bet chalk on wrestling, you're gonna win more times than not. What I'm curious to see is when they start putting it on AEW. I want to see when they start doing it on AEW pay-per-views. Well, all right, premium events, whatever you want to call them. I want to see when they start putting it on that.
Those are pay-per-views.
Okay. Because you got to pay for it through like Bleacher Report or whatever.
Those are pay-per-view. You got to pay you got to pay through it. Pay for it through Bleacher Report.
4-3, by the way.
Of wrestling, not a big news.
Yeah, there's a ton going on in wrestling right now. Triple H is shaking things up since taking over for Vinnie Mac. Taking over, he's gone in there. I mean, he just did an interview with our buddy. What the hell's his name? The guy that does fighting stuff.
Clearly not.
Listen, my brains are mashed. Ariel? It's the first show. Ariel Helwani. Yes. He did an interview with Helwani. And I mean, this was a far range. He did more interviews in the first 3 weeks on the job than Vinnie Mac did in 10 years. You know, like, I mean, he wants to be out in front of this stuff. I love it. I have good vibes about Triple H taking things over. I really do. He's bringing back guys into the fold that
I love Hunter.
That McMahon got rid of.
Hunter used to always give me 45 minutes every when SummerSlam used to be in LA all the time.
What?
And we would go at the SummerSlam party, the red carpet. Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
How did you never tell me this in all the years we've known each other? You've never mentioned this in the 10 years, almost 10 years I've known you.
Said that on many times.
Never said it to me. You never said Triple H.
As I have. I was like, yeah, Triple H we would go cover the SummerSlam party.
And you don't have any ties to it. Wait a minute. And you don't have any ties to him now?
It's not like I grabbed the man's card and he was like, "Hey, yo, Vlad, just call me anytime, bro. You know, here's my number. Hey, Steph, anytime Vlad calls, just let him through, patch him through." No. No.
Just to update our faithful listeners, they're in the third set with Carlos Alcaraz. They're on serve, Alcaraz and Cilic. In the third set, 4-3 Alcaraz again on serve in that match. Alcaraz going right now at minus 230 on the live betting, Cilic at plus 175, which is probably similar to what the opening line on this match was, I would imagine, given the fact that they're pretty much in the same position they were when the match started. The story, look, there's been a bunch of different storylines out at the U.S. Open. And look, there's only a few times a year where you talk about tennis, and usually it's around the Grand Slam events. But there's obviously the Serena story, which I wanted to spend a little more time talking about with Patrick McEnroe of ESPN, who we'll get on the show at some point this week, and I'll get into the Serena stuff more with him. But just in terms of what remains in the tournament, with Nadal falling today to Tiafoe, this 24-year-old, this breakthrough moment for him, this breakthrough win for him in 4 sets against Nadal, who I thought was the favorite after Medvedev lost to Kyrgios last night. It was kind of up in the air, who was going to go and take this tournament. And I thought it would be Nadal. It turned out it wasn't. He lost to Tiafoe today. I would have lost a ton of money because I would have bet anything that Nadal was going to beat Tiafoe today. So a lot of people think Nick Kyrgios having a chance to win his first Grand Slam is now the story of the tournament. And I don't think it is. And I know Serena being taken out of the field in the third round, when we were just starting to think, oh my God, maybe something magical is going to happen. And she lost to Tomljanovic or whatever her name is, who's actually a former ex-girlfriend of Nick Kyrgios, I should mention. And I thought that we were going to, be talking about, a lot of people wanted to start talking about Nick Kyrgios. All right, this is his moment. He's going to grab his first Grand Slam, and that's the story of this tournament. I think the story of this tournament now is Coco Gauff. I think the 18-year-old out of Florida, when you watch her game physically, and she's just 18, so she hasn't even fully developed yet in terms of physical stature and her ability, and she's already one of the biggest servers in the women's game. I think Coco Gauff, coming out of the Serena era, women's tennis, especially American women's tennis, might be really lucky. It might be like the Yankees lose Mariano Rivera and then get, Aroldis Chapman. There wasn't a huge drop off. Now I know Chapman sucks now, but Chapman coming out of the Rivera era, where there wasn't a huge drop off, and it was like, my God, the Yankees just went from this guy to this guy. Are you kidding me? And now you look at Coco Gauff coming out of the Serena era, and if you watch Gauff's matches, I thought she might still be a year or two away from being able to take that quantum leap to being a winner in a major. I'm watching her now and thinking she might win. She's got the physical game to win. She does some amazing things on the court. And I really do want to talk to Patrick about it, so I won't go too long on it. But if you have watched the U.S. Open, the matches to watch aren't hot-headed Nick Kyrgios losing his temper on somebody every 5 minutes. And don't get me wrong, world of talent. I get it. But the person to watch right now is Coco Gauff. I mean, she's just out of this world. What were you going to say, Vlad? You were going to yell at me for something. I could just tell.
No, you were talking about Mariano. You were talking about I didn't like the comparison there. Mariano to Chapman. I mean, I guess you were just saying Mariano being a GOAT and Serena being a GOAT, and it's good that hopefully if Coco Gauff does win, doesn't seem like that they'll be falling back or they'll be in the wayside and not being competitive anymore. Because you hope like the likes of Naomi and Coco can. I hope Naomi gets her stuff back together.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Naomi will ever. I don't know if Naomi's ever going to be right. Unfortunately.
Hopefully.
We'll keep you up to date on the We'll keep you up to date on the Cilic match. Stick around. I got more to talk about. It's Jason Page, the Cash In. Final hour on this Monday, this Labor Day, on the Sports Map Radio Network. Yeah. That's the one thing I'm usually pretty good at.
Most of the times when a new host starts on the network, it takes like a week for them to get used to all of it.
Nah.
It's been a really, really good first show.
Thanks. I appreciate it. It'll get better. Eventually, we'll work in some benchmarks and things like that. I just got to get comfortable again. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't when I tell you all
And I like Kyrgios, man. Kyrgios he's a character, and for him to get to the final of the Wimbledon, right? I believe it was.
Yeah, it was Wimbledon. Lost to Djokovic in Wimbledon.
He got to the Wimbledon final and lost to Djokovic. If he could win the Open, that'd be a hell of a year for this guy, because we've always said he's got the talent, but we don't know if he had the mental capacity to keep his ish together. And it seems like he's actually keeping it together
for the most part. There were a couple times last night where I thought he was going to lose it, especially in that second set when he lost, I think 6-3 in the second set. I thought he was starting to lose it a little bit then, but it turned out he had just basically given up on the set.
Let me tell America this. Let me tell all the listeners all across. Vladimir was the first person to say that he didn't think Serena was going to win another major.
Over 6 years ago, Vlad said to me, when I was insistent that Serena was going to break the record, he said that she would not. And I'll give you credit, Vlad. You were right. I'm shocked that she did not manage to win one more match. And it wasn't like she didn't get into position to. She got to finals and just could not get across the finish line.
That was my problem with, not my problem. This is why I said it, because it was like she had like 5 or 6 opportunities just to tie the record, and she did it. And I'm looking at the competition. I'm like, okay, this is very weird, because usually when Serena gets to the final, she's gonna win one, and she didn't win one of these 5 to 6 opportunities. I'm like, okay, the fear factor's gone. It's the same thing with Tiger. When you're talking about great, dominant athletes in their respective sports, in individual sports, once the fear factor went away, once they realized they could hit it, they could drive the ball longer, and they can putt, and they can hit the shot that Tiger can. There was no fear factor in the tour, and for the happened in the WTA and the women's tennis, there was no fear for her. So, yeah, she had a hell of a run.
She really did. And now the question is, and I want to bring this up when we talk to Patrick, so I don't want to go crazy, but I'm very curious to see if she did. When she was walking off the court after having this little mini run that she had, winning a couple of matches, and then, there are a lot of people that wonder if the reason she lost that third round match, and I will buy into this, because she had the first set on ice. She was up, I think, 5-3 in the first set, lost it 7-5. And then she had her opportunities in the second set. I don't think it's crazy to say, did she make a huge mistake playing doubles? And a number of people have brought that up.
She played one
but
match.
It's in between. But you have to understand, Vlad, it's on her off day. She's 40 years old, and it only played 6 matches coming into the U.S. Open. And look, I watched doubles tennis, and I get it. It's not as strenuous, but still, could that little bit, because she ran out of gas. Third set, you could see she clearly was gassed. She was giving up on points where, she just was trying to live to fight another day. I wonder if the difference in her winning that match, and who knows, look, is she winning the tournament? Probably not. But did she put herself at a disadvantage in that third round match by playing doubles? I bet you if you ask her now, she probably says yes. If you give her a little truth serum, she probably says yes. And again, do I think she's winning the tournament? No. But she put herself at a disadvantage. Alcaraz, by the way, I think just wrapped up. He broke Cilic at 4-5 and was able to win the third set 6-4. So now Alcaraz up 2-1 on Miran Cilic, the final sports action of the night right now that we're keeping an eye on.
What do you think?
Yeah, what? What do I think? What?
About Margaret Court and her comments.
Oh, I was going to get to that too. Well, here's what I got to say about Margaret Court. Hey, Margaret Court, shut up. Nobody cares what you think anymore. How's that?
Damn.
Oh, she's a homophobic, transphobic old fool. Great. You won 24 majors. You played in a completely different era. You did most of your winning in Australia when nobody could go down there and play, because I don't even think there were planes that could get there, for crying out loud. I don't care. Nobody cares whether Serena pays homage to you or bends at your altar. You're a cranky old woman. Go away. That's what I have to say about Margaret Court. How's that? Does that get it across?
Jeez.
I want to
Basically backed up what she was saying.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Oh, I get no respect. And all I do is I give so much respect to Serena. Nobody loves me. Please. All right. Can I switch gears to football? We'll finish. I want to finish the show with this.
You better.
Let me finish the show with this. I started the show in the first hour talking about putting your teams in position to win. That it's an organization's job to put the head general manager in the position to put the head coach in a success to win, and it's the head coach's job to put players in the position to win. Can I say that I think it is an all-around failure, both in management and from the head coach, for the 49ers to have Jimmy Garoppolo back in that organization this year? There's no way. There is a reason. There is a reason that when, and by the way, I think Jimmy Garoppolo is a capable NFL quarterback. I'm kind of surprised he's going back to a situation where he's going to be the backup to Trey Lance. But is it fair to Trey Lance to have him in a position where the guy he just supplanted to become the starting quarterback of the team, we're turning the keys over to you, now has to sit there with a backseat driver and Jimmy Garoppolo waiting for him to blow out a tire or waiting for him to get pulled off the field so that he could get another opportunity to go and get the 49ers to the playoffs and not to a Super Bowl? Is that fair to Trey Lance? Is that putting your young franchise quarterback in the best possible position to succeed? There is no way that anybody can tell me that it is anything other than an abominable failure of management for that organization to say, we're going to have Jimmy Garoppolo looking over the shoulder of Trey Lance the entire season. There's no way this ends well. There's no way. It's just not fair to Trey Lance. How do you do that?
Guess what? Everything you said is right, except it's going to end the way it needs to end. The Niners everybody played a part in this. Jimmy G getting that shoulder surgery very late. Like he got that in March, like right before the NFL new calendar began, right before free agency and everything.
Yes.
So the Niners were playing. They were thinking, well, we have a Super Bowl led and an NFC championship leading quarterback. That teams are going to offer them draft picks. They're going to get a good deal for a capable starting quarterback because they made the decision and they offered those picks to the Miami Dolphins and other teams the year ago to make the move to get Trey Lance. Guess what? There was obviously some fighting going on between John Lynch and No. Guess what? Lynch, and obviously there's been fighting going on between Lynch and Shanahan because I think Shanahan wanted Mac Jones and Lynch wanted Trey Lance. So when you make those picks, that deal's got to show up. So it's Lance's team right now, but they got a Super Bowl winning team right now, Paige. They don't care, but they're not going to care as long as they get to their destination, they get to their goal, which is winning the Super Bowl. So in their mind, yeah, it was messed up to have Lance now having to think about Jimmy G there. But if something happens to Trey Lance, a quarterback who hasn't played much football over the last 3 years, would you rather have a capable quarterback like Jimmy G in case something happens?
There's a lot of capable quarterbacks you can go and sign off to just be backup veterans, though. And don't ask me to name any offhand because I'd have to look at the list. But I mean, but let's put it this way: you know me, I love looking ahead at schedules. Okay, and I haven't done it once on the show tonight. I'm quite proud of myself. 49ers open. Let's just look at their first 6 games at the Bears.
Yeah, they open against Chicago.
That's not going to be fun for Trey Lance, by the way.
Fun for Justin Fields either.
That's gonna. I'm actually excited to see what both of those guys, because a lot of people think Fields has sort of made a leap in this. What will be his second year. But move away from that.
Leap into what?
Hold on. They play at Chicago, home for Seattle, at Denver,
win,
and then home for the Rams, and at the Panthers.
That's a tough one.
Let's just say they start out let's say they start out 3-3. And he plays,
Yeah.
Does he have to worry about losing his job to Jimmy Garoppolo? No, if they have a Super Bowl winning but if you've got a Super Bowl winning roster, if you're supposed to be a Super Bowl winning team,
is he playing well?
Let's just say he's playing. He's playing like a guy in his. How about we say he's playing like a guy in his first full season, which means he's going to make some mistakes. He's going to make some plays that dazzle you.
That's not fair because we've seen some. If he's making plays that are dazzle, and he's making some mistakes, then he's still the starting quarterback. If he's not making plays and he's making mistakes, if he's not making plays that dazzle and he's just making mistakes, but they're winning in spite of him, then yes, then they'll have a conversation.
So you say, hold on,
conversation that would need to be.
All right, so hold on. You say at the so if I'll give you their first 6 at the Bears. You say win, right?
That's a win.
I'm asking you to give me a number here.
Mm-hmm.
Home for the Seahawks. I think that's a win.
Win.
I think Seattle's going to be terrible this year. At Denver.
Yeah.
At Denver, I'll say loss. You say loss? Come on, be fair.
I'll say loss, but that could be a win. They could win that game, though.
All right, but let's say loss for the sake. So we're on the same page. We'll just
say loss.
Okay, 2-1. Home for the Rams. They beat in LA.
They could win that game.
Do you think they're going to win? So you think they're going to be 3-1?
In San Francisco. San Francisco.
Their fans are so milquetoast. There's no home field advantage there. But okay, fine. You want to say 3-1? Then at the Panthers, the cross country trip, always difficult.
That's difficult, but I think they should win that game.
So you say they'll be 4-1, and so you basically you've got them 5-1 because then they play the Falcons in their 6th game. So you think they're going to be 5-1?
So then at worst,
4-2.
To me, then by their record, they'll be 4-2. Okay, if you're saying they could lose to the Rams, but there's a division rival. They play them very well all the time.
Yeah, so you say 4-2.
Yes, in those first 6 games, to me,
and I don't think you're wrong.
Being at worst,
so then hold on.
500.
Hold on, I got a break here. So real quick, if you say they're 4-2, that's where they should be at worst. If they're 3-3, 2-4. Would they pull the plug that quick on a team that's supposed to be a Super Bowl winner? We'll finish this. We'll finish this to wrap up the show as we continue. I'm Jason Page. It's the Cash In on the Sports Map Radio Network. No. I'm glad you. That was one of those times where I needed you to tell me because I got so into the conversation that not that I lost time, but I could see it. Yeah, that's fine. Thank you. Yes. I worked with Dave. Vlad and I worked with Dave Smith. See, it's so funny. You could hear Vlad, but Vlad can't hear you.
Wait, was that Dave just talking?
What'd you say?
I love Dave Smith.
Dave Smith.
Was that Dave Smith just talking right now?
Oh, I don't know.
I love Dave Smith.
No. John was just asking if we worked with Dave Smith.
Yeah, man.
Is Dave still on Sports Map?
I don't know where he is. He on Sports Map?
He used to be. Oh, he got let go in January. Okay.
Dave is a hustler, man. Dave will work at any station as long as they're paying.
Yeah. Hey, whatever happened to our guy, Joe Grande?
Joe Grande is running a weed
really?
distribution. Seriously, he's like one of the heads of like a cannabis. Like, it's not even
good for him, man.
Really doing.
There's a lot of money in that cannabis industry. Yeah. Jesus.
Yo, he was doing it. He was doing it right when it all began and it blew up, and he was part of it. Him and his friends, they started like a cannabis. I don't know if it was like a dispensary or a farm where you grow it, but he's always having every time I see pictures, he's always having like a foundation, a party, something like that.
Oh, nice. Good for him.
And people go there. Yeah.
All right, we got short segment here, Vlad. Vlad, also make sure you're keeping an eye on a clock too, because I gave you the clock just so you.
I am.
Yeah, just keep an eye that you're not running long when we're near the end of a break, because then I've got to get us out. In some cases, they're hard timed.
Gotcha.
Boy, Pujols has been amazing. What a friggin' August. It's crazy. He's got to be reconsidering. Because he could break the all-time record.
No.
If he hangs around.
How? Man,
He's going to be at 700.
It's taken him almost 3 years to have a year like this.
He's found something, man. Stand by. Come back. Good music. Getting set to wrap things up. Our maiden voyage on the Cash In on the Sports Map Radio Network. Executive producer Vladimir Lewisant. I am Jason Page. So Vlad, so let's just say 4-2 to finish the thought before we go on the 49ers. If they're 4-2, sure, Trey Lance is keeping the job. But if they're 3-3, if they're 2-4, I'm looking at the rest of that division, which doesn't get anybody all that excited. I mean, are they? Again, if it's some, if it's one of these other guys that they've had there for the last few years in San Francisco, backing up Jimmy G before Trey Lance, I don't think you're that worried. But if you're Trey Lance and you got Jimmy G there, are you pressing a little bit more? Are you forcing the issue a little bit more? Again, to me, it's just about, are you putting him in the best possible position to succeed? And I think the answer is no.
Yeah, but he's not. It's not like he's Aaron. It's not like Jimmy G's Aaron Rodgers.
No, I get it. We'll continue the conversation.
This is not a Jordan Love situation.
Yeah, no, I get it. We'll continue the conversation as we move through the week and the start of the NFL season. That's going to do it for us. For Vlad, I'm Jason. Thanks to John. We'll catch you back here tomorrow on the Cash In. See ya. I appreciate that. Hopefully the powers that be feel the same. Not that it matters, but
That was one of the better debuts we've had in the 3 years I've been here. I can tell you that.
oh, that's cool. Thank you.
I am going to post this third
To our video streaming audience, peace out. See you tomorrow. Bye. You could say bye, Vlad.
Later. Bye. Bye, Vlad.
You can't see Vlad.